Yo, what is up? Is my mic on? I think it is. So, I think this is going to be my first official devlog stream, I guess, of this project. It's kind of been coming together kind of organically. And this is a little indie game I'm going to put together and start it off really just as a place to test custom clothing for MetaHumans, like this guy's wearing right now, and also a place to test motion capture. And luckily those things go really well together, because making clothes, you need to make sure that they're looking good through different motions. So I just ended up putting together these types of first just like walking around, but then just kind of like I was like, I need more things. Like, what should I make this guy do? What's up, Bigger? How's it going? And I was like, I'm really into crafting survival games like Rust, V Rising, Minecraft, just all the standards. But I'm interested in seeing one that is simple, like really simple. That's one of the main design principles, is to, I'm doing this solo, so not get too crazy with anything, really. It has to be very, very simple to even pull this off, even like in like 2 years or something like that, to even like have like something reasonable. You can't do too much solo. I've learned that from my other projects. I'm sure I'll screw up that aspect of it. But that's pretty much the premise of this. And I have a couple like design goals with this, but I'm sure they're going to change a bit. Just for like a little bit of background on it, my primary project is called Cinetracer. It's a filmmaking storyboarding game. However, I'm extremely conservative with it. It's still in 4.27 as of making this. You can see in these projects that I've basically made an entire new version in 5 early release, just to learn 5, to see what from 5 I would bring back. And I was also learning how to program MetaHumans when I made this, and ultimately decided that ER at that point was too early, went back to 4.27 and remade the systems I made there. So I basically made like a mini version of the game with some new experimental stuff, and some of it came back. Same with any of the stuff I've done for my other YouTube channel, mostly biggest on TikTok, Citizen Meta 1, was entirely just practicing and learning how to do MOCAP for MetaHumans and just more MetaHuman stuff. And eventually this tech again made its way back into main branch Cinetracer. So I see this as a similar thing. Again, Unreal Engine, as of making this video now, is 03, I think, 503. So still not 0.01, or 0.1 rather. But it's been out for a little bit. Been pretty stable so far. So this is me kind of just like venturing into UE5 and just doing stuff I wouldn't normally do, and being more experimental, trying marketplace stuff that I wouldn't normally do. And, the tech that I get from this, a lot of it will end up back here. But this project on its own, I do consider it to be a legitimate side project at this point. All these other ones were never meant to ever be shipped. They're just pure tech research and fun and making content and whatnot. But this one I would like to actually put out there. So that's kind of the premise of this game, how it came to be, and what it's for. And I'm still going to be streaming making lots of clothes. They might be very outdoorsy for a while, what I think is still useful for people. They end up on the marketplace, they'll end up back in Cinetracer, and the animations from this will also, once they get cleaned up enough to be in here, they can also go back to Cinetracer. So it's a little bit of a like tester feeler project that eventually kind of feeds the main project as well. As for like the setup of this, it took me a little while to get this going. This started as a third-person blueprint, and then I migrated in the Lyra animations for Manny and Quinn, which are basically both male tall normal skeletons. Retargeted those, and there's a couple like pretty raw Vicon animations that I've cleaned up and put in here, and I'm going to be streaming more of the motion editing, how to go from like mocap into using it for a game, at least in my like kind of amateur way that I'm trying to figure out how to do. Not a professional animator or mocap animator. So the main kits for resources I'm using for this, because I am again focusing mainly on clothing, animation, and then just like overall basic game mechanics. That's like my real focus. I'm not trying to make trees. I don't want to make grass. I don't want to do any of that stuff. I'm of course using Megascans, which we have a whole bunch of already. Where are these things? Megascans, standard. And I've allowed myself to download this kit, which is one of my favorites. It's called Mountain Environment Set. I forget what this one's actually called, but I can find it later. It's one of the best, in my opinion, especially for what I'm building, this type of stuff. It's one of the best kits for just like off the shelf, like let's start building a forest. I should find like what actually it is. Why are you doing everything yourself? Because again, it's kind of just like a solo R&D project. That's how I roll right now. I do know lots of developers, but from a producing point of view, everything is much simpler if it doesn't involve other people, especially if I'm the one producing the job and paying everyone. Because if this needs to get paused for a couple months to really crank Cinetracer or like a freelance project or whatever, it's completely fine. But as soon as I have other people involved and I'm paying them, it becomes more of a problem. And a lot of this is like an R&D project for me. But that being said, I still believe from the core mechanic point of view and game design scope of what I'm trying to go for, I'm fairly confident I can build this. I don't know how long it'll take me, but I know the mechanics in Unreal to make this happen. I think we'll see. It's not multiplayer, nothing like that. Nothing too hard on that front. So I am using a marketplace. Yeah, it's definitely more chill. By a million. You can talk. I know a lot of game developers from multiple scales, and I think one of the hardest things to do is I would say like, as soon as you're like 2 to 5 people working on a game, it is a much different beast. Mostly just dealing with people. People have different time constraints, family constraints, money constraints, requirements. It's very difficult. You're dealing more with people than you are with game development, whereas this is very much just like pure solo. And I know that like most solo games never finish. This could definitely happen to this project if like, financially this is just like not working. Not that I'm trying to make a ton of money with this game, but just like I don't even have the time to spare on it. Like there's anything can kill a solo indie game, like anything at any stage. I completely understand that. Would rather that not happen with this because it's the scope of this is rather small and experimental. There's no timeline, but that definitely can happen. And I know people who have started their indie games, gone viral on everywhere, YouTube, Reddit, and it's like, yeah, they never finish. It's very, very common. It's very easy to have that happen. So I definitely understanding of that sort of things. But so today, mostly I'm just going to mess around, trying to build a forest. It's harder than it looks, even if all the trees and grass are free, even if they give them to you. Just doing the layout correctly. So I have a couple like concepts I'm going to try to work through with this. As I'm aiming for like pretty much like 1080p on like a modern Nvidia GPU, reasonable gaming specs. So basically high-end PCs, not like insane virtual production PC, but like gaming PC. And we're going to have a high-quality MetaHuman and a high-quality environment. We want to be around 50, 60 frames per second at all times if possible. So there's a lot of things to consider when you want to make the performance stay snappy. And you're not going for like virtual production, quote unquote, where it's like, hey, like 4K, 8K, everything. And we're going to frame render. It's a little bit different consideration. So I made this little prototype level yesterday, just testing the assets, and I just want to do more further testing. I actually stayed up till 3 a.m. doing this, which I haven't done in a very long time. I mostly just like work normal hours. But this one's fun. And again, it's kind of like, let me just hop in Unreal Engine 5, test out some new stuff, see how it's feeling. So I'm going to start a map from scratch, but this is my first just test of like, how are these things kind of gelling together? And a big pickup for me has been Ultra Dynamic Sky, which is like super affordable in the marketplace, is incredible in Unreal Engine 5. I think this is the version, I made 2 versions of the map, and this thing is absolutely incredible, and it will 100% be coming to Cinetracer, like my god. So I can do clear skies. I'm going to shorten the day-night cycle real quick. This is super fun too. I've never been able to program one of these myself nicely. And so, yeah, I'll just use theirs. So I'm going to make day 1 minute and night 1 minute. And this thing is just going to start like time-lapsing on me. Like pretty awesome. Like the sun is just, where is it? Up there. It is just moving across the sky. And so we're seeing like a super fast like time lapse basically of day to night. And the ultra dynamic sky and weather system. Like it makes it snow, it makes it rain, like instantly. Very little has to be done. Pretty incredible. I also now know, looking at like half of the indie survival games that have been announced anyway, they're all using this. There's no question. They're all using the sky system. Like like it does lightning, and there's like light coming out, and the snow, and the rain. Everyone's using this, no question. So here we are into a nice sunset situation. I put a little point light on this fire as a stand-in. And there's the moon just flying across the screen, and there's stars, and I didn't do any of this. You're just pretty much choosing the parameters. I do tweak the exposure curve settings a bit, as I kind of want to light this a bit darker than probably most games would want to go. And yeah, this is a massive pickup. I was going to attempt to write one of these myself, like a basic day-night cycle, but there is no need. There is absolutely no need. And so that's just like time of day. You can just instantly tell it, how fast it goes, and there's like a million things. There's clouds. There's everything you could ever want in an environment system. And on top of that, they put into it weather, and the weather is insane. It's so good. I'm gonna go like straight rain thunderstorm now. And so this is just the beginning of me messing with this, but like, first of all, there's rain. There's rain particles, and there's something to say about that. There's fog sheets coming in every once in a while. It's kind of dark. Here's a puddle. It added these puddles to the environment. It made the landscape wet. And I haven't set it up yet, but if you put little render targets on their feet, then their feet flash. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. Use it for all your projects? Yeah, I think I'm going to as well. I can't. I used it like years ago, and I didn't really like it. This is like all. But yeah, this is insane. Whoa, it's so good. What happened? It's extremely. Oh, it's nighttime. So this is like nighttime. So this is a little bit much. This is what Rust looks like at night, though, to be honest. Like, that's really dark. Let the sky go up. And then the snow one, too. I'm like, wow, okay. So I guess we're going to... I mean, again, we want to scope. Even though we have this, it's a trap to, like, think that... I think to implement it immediately, but I can at least plan for it. So this is my exposure change for snow. Again, if you put the render targets on his feet, the snow actually leaves like footprints and whatnot. But just this is like amazing. The main thing is that the main challenge at the moment is that these trees, they are not responding to the same wind system. And these tree sets are not like the Megascans ones. Oh, I think the weather is super loud. Yeah, I think it is. I'm not playing with my headphones on. These trees are not like responding to the same wind system, so you'd have to kind of cheat that. And they do give you material functions to have like, automatically get wet, automatically have snow on it. So that's kind of like the consideration there. I'm probably still going to mess around with some of the Quixel trees. But to start, I really like this set. And I'm starting from like real basic stuff. And this is also very performance from my testing so far. A lot of the forest stuff on the marketplace it's not going in the game. There's just no way. And like, even if they say it is, like, you can kind of tell through the comments after and like looking through the material, like, oh, there's like 50 materials on the landscape. It's like, this stuff is not meant for games, or it's not optimized enough. This one's pretty reasonable, and I might not even use like all of the materials on the environment, on the landscape itself. So this is pretty standard setup so far. But though I'm going to experiment with like what my world will look like for like, a small game. So it's basically a stock 64 landscape, or whatever the landscape starts off as. I don't know what this depth thing is. We have a depth something happening from the landscape material. I'm going to definitely get rid of that at some point. So it's like really basic. It's just like a little island. This is just a water plane. This kit came with a nice little water material. You can use landscape. Here's like a landscape spline for it. And the water system from Unreal looks really nice, but it's very experimental, and I think it's going to take me too much time. I just want to throw down a plane. That's my water. I'm moving on. Eventually maybe I'll get more into the water tech, but again, I just need a home for animations and custom clothes, and I want it to look like a forest. That's really about it, and the game mechanics. So it's just a gigantic plane. This is just one landscape, and then it comes with these background terrains, which you just hop in World Creator or Houdini or whatever. These are not all that bad to make. That being said, it does take a couple days to make these. I used to stream making this type of stuff, and there's a couple of them in Cinetracer even. But these are just gigantic mountains, like probably real world scale ish. You just get geodata, plop it onto a mesh, and then you make a slope blend material where like, oh, the top at a certain angle it's rock, certain angle it's grass, and that's what's in the deep background for this so far. And so what I want to mess with for this point is like how like small and cozy can I make this, because I don't want to make a big level, and I don't want to do procedural foliage, I don't want to do open world stuff. As a huge indie trap, in my opinion, to even like even say the world like open world or MMORPG. If you say either one of those things, your game is not coming out. You will never release that. It's just not going to happen. So for me, I don't even want the map to be this big. But the question is like, from like kind of like an art and design point of view, how do we make a smaller map, have that still be viable? And for me, it's going to come down to my test today is like, how thick can I make the forest? Because you basically need, like, if you're making like an interior game, you have the walls of the house, you have the building walls, like, but in the forest, it's like, oh, shouldn't we be able to see forever in all directions? And that's kind of like what this setup is. That's why so many games take place on an island, because it's like, oh, okay, the walls of the world are, you can't swim out into the ocean, and there's mountains in the background. But that's a little bit big for me, and I don't want this game to be like, hey, we're walking like hundreds of miles. I don't want to have to move very far at all. It's not Valheim. We're not like sailing across the world. I want to be like much smaller. So I'm gonna start a map from scratch and keep the terrain 100% flat, which is gonna look crazy in the background, but that's part of the goal. Other than a river, I'll cut in for the river, but I want this to be like completely flat. There's probably some like work to be saved if I just like don't start from scratch, but I'm gonna just start it from scratch. So this is gonna be bush map 3. So definitely the intent right now is not to make the final game map. It's to just kind of like figure out like how, like a design kind of like mindset for it, and just make a little testing world. Even it's like this square has some trees we can mine, this square has the base, and this square has the crafting stuff. That's fine. And just like kind of build out something like that. It's like how I started this project, but it's just kind of with like better kit involved at the moment. So this is a landscape in pure darkness and ultra dynamic sky. All we do is drag this thing out there, and it's like, cool, good to go. I'm gonna put this at 0, -1,000. Landscapes like to be kind of high off the ground. I forget what it is. The water system in Unreal Engine, I haven't really done much with it, but when I'm making like flat games, I pretty much make the landscape at 0, but I think like landscapes don't like being at 0. There's something with the height with the water system. Anyway, this landscape's the default like 100 off the ground. So let's see. I tried to clean this all up. I did renaming projects in Unreal Engine 5 is so easy. All you do is clone it and rename it, and it renames it, which is everything completely automated. You don't even have to go in the ini files. C++, you still have to go in there and change a lot, but it's pretty incredible how nice that is actually. So I got this cloned and renamed and moved everything around, so I didn't have to rebuild the whole like demo that I had started building, which is super nice. I usually work with 2 monitors, but for this style, I'm gonna just be in here. So here's all my stuff. I'm gonna just start it with a tree. And I've been using like Megascan's like stumps basically, like without leaves, so it makes it look a lot better to have like the actual tree. Okay, so this is actually not gonna work. I'm not, again, used to 2 monitors, so I'm gonna do it in like the control space one here. We don't have to do much to that anymore. Let me grab, where's this? Oh, I have my favorites out here. So all my assets are going to be chilling in here. We're just going to bring one out as a mesh for now. Actually, I have my spawnable. I already prototyped a, where is it? Bushcraft game or resource. Here we go. So these are my old ones from Megascans. It's just like a stump basically, but this one's using like a new tree. So we'll drop this one out here. Here's 0, 0 right there. And it's 100 up, which apparently I don't have snapping on. 50, that's weird. 10. So put this right at the origin, and I believe the sun I'll figure it out. But the sun with at least by default, unless you're like telling it to use like geo coordinates or something, I think the sun goes across the y-axis because I want to be conscious of where sunset and sunrise is and never block it, basically, and really design like the base placement so that you get really nice looking sunsets for the chilling the chilling mocap animations I'm putting in this. It's a half. It's I don't even know if it's half. It might be like it's kind of half. It's like 50%. I kind of want to mine trees in like a fun way, and the other 50% is to like look at sunset. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like making nice sunset scenes, sunrise sunset scenes. Let's see here. So we're gonna just switch this to my game mode, GM, Bushcraft. See if we're spawning incorrectly yet. We are certainly not. Interesting. Oh, okay. Huh. Oh, yes. Okay, so I have not written... the player controller doesn't spawn the actor yet, or the pawn. It's, yeah, I gotta do that myself, unfortunately. Again, this just started off as a third-person blueprint. The game mechanics I've written so far are very light. I haven't done much. We're gonna auto-possess... Or not, over in the world settings. Auto possess. So it would have been cool to like kind of like do the entire thing and have it recorded. That's kind of like the idea with this a little bit. But I don't. I've done a bit of work and it's scattered across a couple different places. But still, this is pretty raw for a video game to start with. So, where is the sun? Actually, we want to throw the weather system in here as well. But so far we have this tree. It's an actual tree now with leaves. We're going pine because that's what this kid is. And this, from my research, not that I'm in the woods doing this myself, this is like a reasonable sized tree to cut down as a solo. In the woods, maybe with an axe a little bit more hefty than this. This is like a scaled up hatchet, which is more for like, this kind of hatchet's for like cutting off the little branches. I mean, you could start attacking this tree for sure. But anyway, this is like a more realistic tree. And it's also what we're going to build the houses out of by the 1x1s. I don't have my headphones on. I don't like streaming with headphones these days. I'm probably going to need to pretty soon though, because like this has audio. Am I missing? I keep missing. So this thing's spawning wood that doesn't make any sense anymore. But it is spawning something. And these are pickups in the game. Throws them at me and tells me that I've been picked up, but we don't have an inventory written yet. But I'm just writing like the basic like crafting system here. So that's kind of our landmark. We have our pawn, and I'm gonna just throw in the weather system too, because I plan to use it. So I'm still learning these systems. So a lot of this is kind of like, well, learning ultra dynamic sky. I've never used it before. It's pretty straightforward. But then, you know, seeing how it responds to the asset pack that I have, and I'm not very good at world layout, and I probably have some weird concepts that are not, probably not the best from like a layout point of view, but we'll see, because I'm kind of like looking at this like V-Rising, but it's a third-person game, whereas V-Rising is top-down. So you never have to deal with Horizon with V-Rising, but I still want to approach it that way. What's up, Boom? Yeah, this is Dad Bod Survival. I don't know what the actual name will be yet, but I just know that I think it's going to be fun to like ride the whole indie development thing, calling it Bushcraft, and then right before like launch, I'll probably have to switch it or something like that. It's kind of common. When I launched Cinetracer, I kind of like developed the whole game publicly, just like this, pretty much like under Cinegame. It was called Cinegame to everyone who knew about it until the day I launched it on Steam. It became Cinetracer, which is not a good marketing idea, but it worked out fine. People were like, I just bought Cinetracer, and I'm like, yeah, that's it. Don't worry about it. Like, you could like, I mean, it's close enough, and this is a wish list on Steam. It's all the same, but like, Steam doesn't care about names. It's all Steam IDs, so it doesn't really matter. You can change the name pretty much whenever. I'm gonna put this in environment as well, and we are in as raw a state as you can basically be for something like this. I'm gonna make the weather not raining, and I'm gonna use the landscape material for now that doesn't react to the weather. I guess I could, but you can switch it back and forth. It's not a big deal. I'm not sure I want it for like the cost that it incurs. It's a little expensive to track feet and do all that. It's a little, it's there as an option, and I can switch to it if I need to. Yo, where's my settings for this thing? What's going on with this? Why can't, is it just this? Oh, okay. Also UE5 again. There's a lot of things that are new to me. I don't watch a lot of UE5 tutorials either. I've just been in like the lane that I'm in, and like, yeah, so I need to like kind of learn UE5 as well. Okay, so we have a tree, we have our sky cycle going here. I don't think time animation is on. I guess I'm just gonna leave it off for now. And I'm gonna drop a landscape material on this situation, which this is not my landscape material. I went and watched a couple very long tutorials on how to set these up the new way. They're very nice. It's great, but it takes way too much time. That's not my interest like at all at the moment, is to like come up with like the best like non-tiling landscape material. Like, nah, that's not it. I just need some grass real quick. So this is the terrain shader I modded to have UDS working. This is UDS's landscape material function. You just plug in all the stuff that would normally go here instead, and then pipe it back out. This is going to be listening for some world events or something like that, or maybe UDS is talking directly to the landscape and it finds the material and it's setting parameters on it. I haven't looked into how that's going. I'm actually fine with it being completely black box. So if you want rain, you want snow, whatnot, you just chuck this in the landscape material and it pretty much works. But I'm going to use the more performant one as we go on. So I'm just going to use essentially, this is an instance of the not UDS version. This is like the main shader. This is the instance. And I duplicated it. This is the bush version of it. So this one's a little bit more performant. And I almost definitely do not need all the materials on it, though it's not that expensive to have them all instance on here, but there are 8. There's 8. It's like it's a lot. But for now, I'll just put them all on here. So we're just going to make, I was going to keep popping this up every time. Jeez. Anyway, this just happens once in the beginning. You just store this stuff here. So I actually would like the level to be smaller than the default Unreal Engine spawn, but I would say that's the biggest I would ever attempt to populate a map, because I'm going to hand populate everything. I'm not doing any procedural foliage or anything like that. Every piece of grass on this map I'm going to hand place. Anytime I try to do procedural open worldy stuff, I hate it. And then like it's just like it's a different science to try to control that. So this landscape does have this like circle. This landscape material has this like culling that's happening here, and it does look really weird in sunset, I've noticed. So I might dig through this material and find what's doing this and delete it. Looks like it might be a performance thing, like a tiling thing, but it affects UDS in a kind of an odd way right at sunset, which is the point in the game that I kind of care the most about it, unfortunately. So like it's not great. Okay, so landscapes usually render like garbage when they're flat, but this one's not too bad actually. This is doing fine, and UDS is handling the horizon quite nicely, and yeah, it's a good start for sure. This is a thing that I'm gonna have to figure out like how I want to deal with it from a design point of view. We don't want the camera probe to be colliding with the trees. Or the walls really too much, depending. Only world blockers we want the camera to block against. Like stuff like this would be very annoying to walk through the forest, and every time you hit a tree it's like it. So we'll have to make kind of like a tree, basically like a custom collision channel, so that like the camera ignores this tree, yet we can still line trace or collision trace to it when we're hitting it. And we could always do the thing where like if the camera is between a tree and a person, not only does it ignore it, it makes it transparent. That's also something that happens. It's kind of weird. Definitely V-Rising does it, but it's a top-down. It's a little weird in a third person to have the tree go invisible. It's kind of like it's usually like a top-down Diablo kind of visual mechanic, because you literally can't move the camera. Whereas in third person, you can always like, move the camera wherever you want. So next, I'm gonna just chuck some like gigantic mountains into the horizon, just so that the horizon isn't blue. It's like at all plausible that this is like a real environment. So these are background terrains, and they give these to us, and they're pretty nice. Save everything. Gotta dig through this control space menu. Let's see, background terrains. There's 3. They're lovely. We're gonna take them all, and they are gigantic. They are so big. We might even need to go like space mode here, like 7. So yeah, let's put these all in here. This one's kind of obnoxiously like this one's got to go way out, like way far away, like real life far away. This one as well. These are background ranges, like they're really tall. Like if you put them anywhere near a landscape this small, they're obnoxious. They like block the entire thing. Whereas these ones are kind of like, they won't block the sunset. That's mostly what I'm worried about, is the sunset. So just make a little circle of these. Can definitely go to like break this up in different ways. Pretty much just spinning them is going to get a lot done. And these ones are kind of close. So you will start to notice like, what's it called? Repetition sometimes on them. But most of today, all I want to mess with is like, how many trees does it take to block the horizon? That's kind of the question. And like, how can I make like small cozy-ish forest sets? And this is relevant to Cinetracer 2 because I make the maps for that game, and we're on a similar, actually we're at a lower budget on Cinetracer for how much I can use to build a map, whereas this one I'm like targeting only high-end PCs. Cinetracer is like almost, I don't know the numbers right now, but it's very high Mac M1, like M1. That's like what everyone uses on. And we have very low memory that we can use for that. It's not so much the poly count, it's just pure video texture memory is super low on those computers relative to like a, or actually I don't know how the memory works out, but like a dedicated GPU that has like 8 gigs of video memory, which is like not even that high anymore, but it's kind of still high in like the big picture of authoring games for Steam. 8 is like, you can't assume someone has 8 gigabytes just for that. So I forget where sunset is. I'll sort that out, but this one needs to be like way back, like way back. It's pretty abstract to do it out here. Actually, we only need one of them too. They're a little, this one's like a little big. We can scale it. There's all sorts of stuff we can do, but just leaving it stock. This is kind of generally the layout. And we're very far away, but we'll just grab our tree and zoom back in. Oh, we're space mode here. Let's go to 4. Just that one tap and I'm like so far away. Okay, so there's our gigantic mountain. That's how far away it should be. I mean, they're not good enough to be, it's a little sus to even have them this close. But again, we're gonna just block all of this is the goal. I think sunset's coming from this way. We'll find out. I think it might be across X. Once we start letting it auto animate, I'll kind of figure that out. And for that reason, I'm going to let it actually do that. So we just want to bring these all to like -3,000 or something like that. Oh, even higher. Oh, that's 300. -3,000. Just to get them below the horizon, maybe 2,500. That's passable. Okay, so this is like your minimum, like minimum horizon blocker. It looks like we could be a little lower on this one. I can see like the little ridge of that. So I just bring them all down for simplicity. So -2,800. It's probably gonna just be -3,000 like I thought it would be. But you don't want to see the ridge of it. So we don't want to go anywhere near that. And if you're a mobile game, that's an HDRI. That's just an image on the sky sphere. But we're going PC. We can afford that. In the background, they're not that high poly, and they're probably lotted way out at this point. And going fully dynamic lighting for this, they will react to the lighting nicely. So we get that for free. Versus if it's a HDRI shader, you're gonna have to do some tricks to basically like shader tricks to be like, oh, it's time to start tinting the skybox orange, and just a little bit more trickery. Let's see here. Okay, so kind of the first question. My references are all on my iPad, which is like where I hang out after I'm like not at my computer. But we have this tree, and we're looking in this direction. Let me start kicking on the sun to do like the auto day cycle real quick, so I can figure out where the sun's rising and whatnot. So I'm gonna make it 1 minute, 1 minute, which is extremely fast. and just kind of location scout this. So I'm looking forward at this tree is X. So I'm looking into like the proper game grid is positive X, positive Y. X being forward, Y being right in Unreal Engine world. So let's see where the freaking sun comes from. I should have started it. I'm pretty sure it's coming from over here, which is positive Y. I'm pretty sure sun's going positive Y to negative Y. If looking this way was straight, was X forward. So it's going to end up over there somewhere. And you can definitely alter the arc of it. But just like stock UDS, oh, am I seeing the horizon? So you see how it gets, see how the landscape gets black right now? Shouldn't be. I don't know what that is. But that makes UDS look awful. Like, it shouldn't be black. So there's some mask around my character, or the camera pretty much, that's making it black. So I gotta kill that. So yeah, this looks like it's UDS by default. Even if you spin UDS, it doesn't care. This is being calculated in some sort of world space. It's more or less sunset, sun rises in the east over here, which is to the right. So Y positive. Sets in the west, which we'll be calling Y negative. So this mountain, it's in the way. Gotta move that. So for me, we're gonna put mountains towards north light, south light, north south, which will be X positive, Y positive. So just keeping that in mind in this phase is a good idea. For me, whereas like the lighting in this is not random. I don't want the lighting to be random. We're gonna end up. It should feel random because it's gonna just be like changing. No one's tracking it or whatever. But like, we're going to end up with sunset hitting you right in the face, like every time, every single time. So we can put big mountain blockers towards north and south, and they won't block sunset. That's kind of the setup. So if we just always look towards this mountain, it's kind of my north, we'll be pretty safe, and we try not to block too much. Even this mountain's maybe a little bit, we'll like maybe leave it a little bit less obscured, like that. Okay. So that's set up for this, and yeah, just like a way to think about like orienting big world picture stuff. See, like this dark line that's following me everywhere is awful. I think it's something with the tessellation, but it makes it so dark. I have not figured out what that is yet. But another aspect of this is that you don't want to see the landscape. That's like, I always learn this like over and over again. It's like if I had set this up, I'd be like, oh, I set up this landscape material, I got to use it, we got to see it. You don't really want to see the landscape. That's kind of what it is. Like, that's kind of the name of the game. It's like hide the landscape pretty much. So we have our hero tree here, and I'm going to start throwing down some foliage, which is our main game blocker. And as far as like tier one of this game, we're only knocking down super thin trees, right? So, but in this kit, we have like a gigantic amount of much bigger trees. Like if I pull one of these out, like I think this is like the biggest. Oh, I can't bring it out like this, sad. Just right here. Foliage. Where is it? These are gigantic. Like these are like full grown pine trees, and they're huge, and you're not cutting them. This is like chainsaw territory, like in the real world. Where is it? I think this was my hero one I was using. Is this that's a foliage asset. Hold on. We'll bring out the mesh version of it. This one, I think this is my hero. Yeah, like, so like this is like much taller, and also much thicker. It's a lot harder to do this. Ultra dynamic weather is not available. It comes for it's part of ultra dynamic sky. The weather system, you get it when you buy the sky system. They're bundled together, which is good because they're pre-set up to work with each other. Like they just work out of the gate. It's like amazing. So there's two types of trees. Megascans does this as well. This is a forest tree where there's no branches on it. Really, there's no leaves. Like the leaves are all at the top because that's where the sun is, because they're so close to each other. The problem is with these is if you want to use these trees to block the background, like the test is like, how do we block seeing the mountain? We don't really want to see the mountain. This is not enough. This is I started to build that out. They would need to be like stupidly dense, like too much. But then we have. Well, bushes is actually the answer, but we have the trees that are not forest versions, forest pine. We have what Quixel calls field trees. And those have leaves all up on them. It was separate before? Oh, cool. Yeah, see, I came back at a good time. They're just bundled together now. Forest. No, I'm pretty sure they're just like full thick tree. This kind of looks like it, actually, this one. But we basically just want ones that have like a ton of like thick leaves on them. I don't see it actually, but anyway, when I do find it, we need to put them in the foliage thing. Foliage. So let's see, where are these trees? All I'm trying to get done today is make a couple layouts. That's it. Just like very small layouts, ton of bushes, ton of trees, rocks. Like what are we doing to block the background while staying flat? I want to develop this whole beginning of the game, like completely flat terrain, no slopes. Adds a lot of complexity in a lot of different areas. One of them being animation. Let's see. Is it, these look like they might have it. I think these are deceptively tall is the thing. These are like gigantic. So you have SM Forest. Maybe these don't break it up like that. Maybe I was thinking of the actual Quixel trees, say forest and whatnot. Oh, okay. I might be wrong actually. So I'm gonna grab this one. I do like this. It just doesn't have very much tree on it. I'm gonna grab this here. Looks like it's got leaves on it. This is a straight up Christmas tree. I think this one's really small or something. I should do a little layout of all the trees real quick probably. I think that's worth it again. I did this yesterday, but now I forget. So this is my hero mining tree for sure though. I remember doing that. So we're going to keep looking into positive XY with sunset coming across Y. So we'll put our layout down here. We're not really trying to ever look this way as far as like what this demo level is supposed to do. So we're pretty safe to just chuck a ton of stuff down there. The environment is, if I can find the name of it, it's my favorite forest on there. Okay, so it's called Mountain Environment Set, this one. This is great. What I'm going to be doing eventually is going to this is their demo level. I'm not good enough to lay it out as well as they have, but this is what I was using for like, I made a couple tests where I was trying to be like The Witcher. And this is the set I thought looked most realistic. And I still stand by that. And it's still pretty performant as well, which is the other aspect. It's not like Maui or like some of the other sets that are like, yeah, okay, we're immediately in pain from performance-wise. These are pretty good, and you can keep optimizing them, and you can set up the LODs to be hyper-aggressive. I cull the grass like immediately. Like this kit's great. Yeah, so this is like a decent one to look at. With this, yeah, so they perform really nicely, and they're the exact type of like logs I'm looking for. They're actually better than what Quixel has available as well for this specific case of what I'm looking for. I don't know how you get out of this. How you click it? Yeah, word. So I'm using Ultra Dynamic Sky in this, and Quixel. I don't know. It's like it's a good kit. So I'm just gonna do a layout real quick because I forget what these things are. I got to bring out every tree, and yeah, it's just a study of like what's our mindset for hiding the background. So these are just going to get taller at this point. So the problem with these will be fine for like the deep background is that like when you're immediately against them, they don't block the background, right? They're very, very thin trees. You would need a ton of them. I think these just continue to get taller. But they have use a lot of tree variation for us. Okay, we're kind of like encroaching on like the actual part we want to be in, but it's okay. So those are the trees. They're very thin. They're good. They're tall. You know, if you just chuck these in your Foliage Painter, you're going to have a lot of tree variation like right out of the gates. But that's not my problem at the moment. That's the dead one. To have these react and have snow and rain on them and like start to like whip around and like in the rain, we would need to like set that up by hand, but it wouldn't be too bad. But the Quixel one's gonna do it like out of the gate. What's this? That's a weird one. Oh, that's cool. It's good to know that this is there. It's kind of like a hero tree. Let's see. So now we're looking at like these small ones. So this is a very, very tiny one. So we'll use this like, so when you mine a tree, it's gonna be like ridiculous. It's a video game, but like, you know, you mine the tree, you kill it, and then like a little bit later it's this, And then a little bit later, it's this one. I don't even know if I'm going to do this many variations. Then it's like a small Christmas tree for your apartments. This one got smaller for some reason. Got a little bigger. These are good blockers too, actually. Okay, this is like absolutely the baby plant. We're not ever using those. Or I'm not planning on it. A slightly bigger Christmas tree. This dude went crazy. Or lady. Someone built a lot of damn trees. Like, jeez, that's a lot of trees. I think this is the one I'm mining. Is this the hero mining one? No, I'm using an even smaller one. Do I mine this one? Tree 00C. Is that the one I thought we're going to mine? It might be that one. Okay, so these are good. Like around here, this is doing big work. So is this, and this one in the middle. If you kind of stack these three up, we could block the horizon. Same with this one. This is a thick one here. It's Christmas trees. This is a Christmas tree game now. So okay, so those are all the trees in the kit, and then being a bushcraft game, this kit delivered on the bushes. So this is good. I need lots of bushes. I think these are small. Yeah, this is more like grass. This is like grass. Here goes the bushes. Bush. Another bush. These are also, some of them anyway, going to help us block the horizon. These are a little sparse, little thin. Just kind of want to know. And we are not trying to use every single type all at once. That's terrible. That's all your texture memory goes into like some trees. Like we want to be like, or at least I'm going to be extremely minimal with like how many types I'm using. And from like a design point of view, I was like, I kind of want to be like, this the bush I use, this the tree I use. Like I don't want to have to think about all. I want to ignore that all these variations exist. I'm just going to pick the ones I like. Same with grass. I'm just like, okay, these are getting smaller. So we've already found the ones I want. These are tiny. But like you can do insane like micro variations. And we're still not, I mean, this is still a very performant set of trees, and they're going to card, you know, imposter at a certain point. Looks like not yet. I can't tell, which is good. And they backlight okay. Like imposter is always backlight like shit kind of. These ones do pretty well. I like them. But for like cinematic, you would just LOD zero the whole thing and just eat, you know, your 0 frames per second the whole time you're like working in here, or hide the trees. And then we have these. These are like, I don't really consider them part of the blocking set. They're kind of like the biome specific stuff. Okay, that one's absolutely tiny. I think these are all tiny grasses. Yeah, they're tiny. So that's like grass breakup. And there's some nice, these are great. I started using these near the water. They're too small to see right here, but these look great near water. And they have a nice water material. Hey, what's up, Tiger? How's it going? Welcome to the first stream of my new project. Kind of. Let me look at these. Oh, these are blocking. These are not bad. But let me just say that like this set is bushcraft for me. Like this is the game, like 100%. Like it has, I need like 2 of the back ones, 2 of the front ones, and 1 of the front ones. And like, we're good. We're super good to go. So that's the foliage layouts. So I'm going to try to make like a block out. Just a couple different layouts to block the scene. And the other thing, I mean, the rocks are crazy too. I spent like 2 hours last night just sorting through all the different rocks, and I still suck at making them look like mountains, but it can be done. If you go to the demo scene, it's insane. It looks like the demo scene looks like insane. So it can be done. I just need to learn like how they kind of like the mindset for it. But I kind of copied how they do the mountains. These are the trees. And the last bit here is let me grab these. I usually have a gigantic content browser open when I'm doing this like offline, but I'm not going to do any of this basically offline. We've got a million rocks, a lot of roots. This is the water. They call them details. Here it is. Even better is all the logs they got from me. These were hard to find from Quixel actually. Quixel doesn't have these in the way I want, and more mushrooms than you could ever need in your life, and in perfect branches. We're picking up mad branches in this game. Okay, so these are on top of each other. But we got this one. We've got this one. I'll show the forest set in a second. I should link it, I guess. I used to do like, I think they're still on this channel actually. Back in the day, I used to do a lot of like layout streams. of like making levels for Cinder Tracer, basically. I think this is all of them. Anyway, these are perfect lootable logs. The way that I'm thinking of the mechanic is this has got to be the hero tree that I was using. I'll bring this over. Is, you know, you're going to engage in combat with this tree. You're going to win, most likely, unless your axe breaks or something. You're going to cut it down, and it's going to turn into this. This is little Valheim. All the leaves, they instantly disappear. You don't have to cut those off. You would IRL. It's going to turn to this, and so you can either keep it like this, which you're going to have to pick it up, put it on your shoulder, and bring it back to the base, and make a pile of these, because that's how you build the damn house, is this. Or you can engage with combat with this thing, and it'll turn into a bunch of these. These are smaller. So we're basically going to have, from a tree like this, you can have it as a log, and that's how you're going to build the house structure. Or you can keep cutting it down. It'll turn into whatever this is. It's like a log segment. I'm not sure what we're going to call it in game. And then if you keep engaging in combat with it, or you put it in a crafter, then it starts to turn into like smaller pieces of wood. Which, if you watch Bushcraft stuff, everything's wood. Everything's like, we're whittling stakes out of this. Like, it keeps getting smaller. So this kit just came and gave me everything, and Quixel doesn't quite have enough. So this was I kind of tried it with like raw Quixel. They have a ton of stuff, obviously, but specifically for this, it wasn't this cohesive. And performance wise, this one's actually tuned probably a little bit better for me out of the gate. This is from Mountain Environment Set from Nature Manufacturer. They've got really good ones. Not too many, I guess. Oh, they made this park. I forgot about that. These are all worth their weight in gold, and I mean, I'll see soon, like from a performance point of view, they're good. They're real nice. I would take all of these into one project, but I'm trying to like, you know, limit myself from like a complexity point of view. Like even this is way too many trees, man. This is way too many trees for me to deal with. But this is the kit we're working with. It's incredible, you know, to have all this. And like, you know, if you were going to try to make this landscape material, the materials, the mountains, even if it was, this is like years. This would take years to make. And even for Megascans to like link it all together, it takes a lot of time and definitely takes away from like the goals of what this project really is. So the big heroes today are the thickest of the pack. That is going to be this, very thick. Which one is this? Dwarf Pine Big 1 winner. The other winner, Forest Pine, whatever 0 this one thing is, this also super thick, gonna help block everything. The problem at the moment, see, I can just delete too thin. These are like nice to have foliage, but too thin. I'll take also maybe small Christmas tree, but to be honest, what's the difference? We could just scale this one. Like, is there any difference really? The problem with these ones are these are like the hero mining trees. But this one does a good job, so I'll chuck it in there, but like this is going to need to be like a resource node that you can mine, so you just wouldn't throw it out there like foliage. But those are the heroes. I'm going to go delete everything else. And then these trees back here, despite what you've done in other video games, these are hard as hell to actually axe down. At least these ones, like, we're not cutting this down. Actually, I think one of the first games that, not the first, actually no, that's not true. Valheim does it too, but like Valheim, like you're cutting down pretty big ass logs, and it's only until like the super fat, like 4 meter wide trees do you need to level up. But in New World, you can't mine the medium trees like at all. So our like environment trees, you're just never gonna mine them. They're too big. The biggest tree we're gonna mine is probably this one. At least for a very long time. So these will just be pure environment, as I don't want to make every tree in the game mineable. That's a problem that I'm not looking to solve at the moment. We can kind of leave these out, I guess. I'm not like testing for performance at the moment, but you know, they are, you know, out here. Though all the trees are kind of atlas, so it's not too bad. So we found our heroes of the kit. Damn, where's that? What is this one? Forest Pine Tree. Okay, so the next thing is we got to just stick these in the Foliage Painter and just not have to think about this again too much. I cannot click those because we're in foliage mode. Okay, so how am I going to... Let me start with this bush. This is the hero bush here. dwarf pine big 1. Was it shift 3? Yeah, okay. Let's find this bush. What the hell is this thing? Where are you? Foliage. Foliage assets itself. Okay. Is it this one? Looks like it. It's a thick bush. I don't remember. I think it's this one. Dwarf pine big 1. Pretty sure it's this. That's kind of annoying. So what's? I think I can just see it now. It's the thick. It's the little Christmas tree. Is it this one? I think it's this one. Looks like this. Foliage assets, and then yeah, we're gonna get down with this one for a little bit. Even though this is like a mineable tree, I'm just gonna use it. Forest pine tree 0B. Ugh, I'm not gonna remember that, but okay. Forest, what are we doing here? Forest pine something 0B. Where'd you go? C, D, where's B? Hiding. Which one is it? If I wrote B in the search, it'd probably find it real quick for me. I see A, C, and D. Where'd B go? How do me like this? Hiding. What the hell? Where's B? Where'd B? Is it this? Where'd B go? All right, B in here. B. Being like this. Oh, is it this one? Really? No, this? It must like be LOD'd out in this one or something. Well, here it is. Maybe it's these ones. I'll go find out. Okay. So over in like game preview world, we'll leave the like this general 0, area alone for a little bit. We'll just kind of like run over here, like over here. I just want to build a little diorama. I need like kind of like a home base. I need to go make. I made a little campfire out of Quixel stuff, but I didn't like merge it together, so it's just like a million meshes. I gotta merge that shit together real quick, but I'll do that in a second. Let me just grab out one of these. These are awful. I'm gonna make better ones now. But these are just like a bunch of Quixel trees like merged together. But I need a place to like center myself, so we're looking to have this and then completely block the background. How expensive is that gonna be? So you didn't get the food? Oh, go in. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, but yeah, okay. That's not so bad. I just say fuck it, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do single bush, single background bush. So, in general, do this like theater. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, the scaling variation here is a little bit much, but it's fine. This makes it kind of hard to place. Anyway, so that's already doing pretty big work, and like we're gonna just like build the iron wall of trees. So then the next tallest one will be this. What is this thing? This is the Christmas tree if I chose it right. That's not it. That's certainly not it at all. This is some scrawny shit. Okay, we gotta go find the thick tree. This ain't it. Where'd it go? What is this thing called? It was called B, and like I couldn't find it. Is there not a foliage version? Is that what's going on? I need this. I need this one. What's your problem? We're going back to the content browser. No. Oh, it's called... Oh, it started like iterating weird out here. So this is called... What the... Where is... Wait. Where is this? What are you doing? Oh, here it is. Forest Pine Tree 00A. So if I write 00A, I should find it. Foliage, though. How about just A? There can't be that many of this. Like, okay, that's just not correct. 00A. Oh, it's this one. There we go. It's this one. Couldn't find this before. Did that not work? Are you not a foliage type? Are you already in there? Wait, it's already in there. What happened to my other tree? Did I suck at getting these in here? And what's this one called? I think it was already in there. What's this one? A and B. They're just right next to each other. Okay. 00A and B. Foliage. Fern one. Okay. Finally. I think we got them all now. I think these are them. Let's fly back to block the backgrounds. So wall of bushes into wall of trees. Slightly taller. I guess I'll give them a little bit of space. We'll see how this goes. That doesn't seem like it. That's not it. What am I doing with my life? How come I cannot find these trees? What the hell? Which one's this? That's a thick ass tree though right there. That's it. That one's it. What happened? Where's the other tree? How come I cannot figure this out? I want this one too, but whatever. These are legit Christmas trees. What the hell? Not this tiny little tree. Pine plant. Yeah, no, it's not a pine, not the pine plant. It's this one. I need to go find the last one though. Oh my god. Okay, so the variation on this is crazy. We're gonna make these cull. Actually, culling, we'll see. It's kind of sketchy to cull the level blockers, but we'll see. The grass culls like immediately. The grass doesn't stick around very long. I don't ever really want them to be too small, so let's say that. Oh, let's go to 2. Jesus, yeah, we'll do like 1.3, like that. I just want these to be pretty much the same size. So this is the theatrical layout here. I want to get rid of this one. Single. Boop. Okay. So let's go run over there. So our view is going to be like this. Again, in that we don't want to have to make a gigantic world. If you let the player see like this, they see everything, right? So we're going to be a little bit here. And lower. Hide that horizon. Okay, so we have a successful horizon block right here. So we can build a little tiny level and just essentially, you know, in a more artistic way. And we don't even have rocks yet, but like hide the background with bushes and trees. And these are the thickest of the lot that are going to do it. And we don't even need I don't even need the next row even. But for now, we're not mining these, right? Which is kind of the questionable part. Now, I feel like that tree over here was so much smaller. Is it the scale? I still feel like I'm not picking out the right tree. Is this really the same one as over there? It looks like it. Now, how come I can't find this one? I'm so bad at populating this stupid. It's just Pine Tree 00B. How come I can't get this in the Foliage Painter? Plant. Okay, you know what? We're gonna get it. Where is it? 00B. Where are you? What the hell? 00A. Yo, where is B? Do they not have B in here? It's C and D. What's up, original? Dude, I can't find this tree. What the hell? I give up. Where is this tree hanging out? Here's A. A's doing huge work. B's just not in here. Hold up. Let me hop in here. I think they don't have B. I see pine plant, pine tree. They don't have it. They don't have it. I'm not crazy. They don't have it. No. I'm looking for bushes and trees. That's it. That's all that's going down. They just don't have it. I'm not crazy. They have A, C, D. They don't have it. They only have it here. So this is why I'm going insane. They don't have it. That's the plant. Where'd it go? This one. They only have it as a mesh. Ah, rip. Okay, well, it doesn't matter. It's almost like a mineable thing. Create it. Do you just like right click it and make it a foliage type? I don't really know how to do that. Nanite. I don't know how you make foliage. Do you have to open it? I'm gonna have to look that up. Okay, we're dragging these out as meshes. Pain. I do want to see what they look like for the next row. If I can find it again. Trolling me. This kid's trolling me. They don't have the foliage matching. I cry. Or is it? Plants? No. No. It's this one, finally. So this one's like a little bit taller, but these things got scaled up. No, we're good. Actually, we're chilling. This will do it. These are the thickest, most blockiest things that we can find. It's them. Okay, so we're gonna do one of these over here. This one's kind of set up to mine right now. Just gonna take a peek at what that feels like. I gotta kill this other view. This is that's the Valheim view. We don't want to do that. I want to always be this one. We are 16 by 9 though, so you gotta consider that. But basically, if we make like a perimeter of these, we are pretty good. And then we would need like rocks after that to kind of block it up. So his animation doesn't line up with the tree yet. I just recorded this animation like didn't have this in mind. But yeah, so when we're in this view, we're pretty good. like we're not even seeing the landscape beyond there. So like that's like one of the main tricks in the beginning, at least from how I'm gonna approach it. And so this is like a bad this is like the Quixel log. I'm gonna make this again with the logs we have now. We need to like hop in ZBrush and like chop them up. Right click on the content and create foliage. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll go do that. That being said, this thick bush into this thick little tree here, we are properly blocked. We are blocked. Okay, so that's good. That's my first test. So the next thing is that there's a billion trees. I mean, there's a billion rocks to sort out. So that's what this is. Okay, I've watched a lot of Unreal Engine Twitch streamers in my day. Let me tell you, when all the ones that do level layout, you're doing a lot of this shit. You just got to sort out what the damn trees are. Like, everyone's getting it from packs, and it's like, okay, what does what? Which ones are we actually using? Especially for like modular houses and whatnot. Like this is a must-do of any project. Even if you made all this stuff, you still need to lay it out and remember what the hell you made. Like, I make so many clothes, it's like, it's overwhelming to even like lay them all out now. So I kind of did this already, but we need like our big, we're just looking to block the horizon. That is it. We're just making walls. These are just walls for the level, because you don't want to open world it. It's like impossible. It's very, very hard, I think. These ones I looked at, they're super weird to use. I couldn't figure it out. These ones are very limestoney looking, and they scaled them wrong, like out of the gate for some reason, but they scale up pretty big. I really don't like how these render. They're very bright. So if I do use them, I'll be like toning them back down. This one's pretty good. If you do end up putting the landscape function on here so that this thing gets rained on, it does like rain dynamically, it does snow, you do have to worry about overscaling it. And it does something kind of weird to the reflections with lumen reflections. It's kind of, I don't know. I'm not sure I'm going to do it. We'll see. These ones are a little flat. I need a boulder. The boulder. These are all like pebbles at this point. I've done this layout before. You can get rocks from anywhere though. Like this, a rock from like Quixel, from another kit, like, you know, we'll go hunting at a certain point. So I'll just copy and paste these out of here. Having done this layout kind of tested before, like these are the ones I kind of know work out pretty well. For now, they have a little green on them too. Help them fit in. So we're not even doing landscape anything. There's not even stuff on the floor. We're just like, how do we block the background? So here's another version where there's rocks. I mean, this is kind of obvious, but like still has to be planned out. And generally with this kit, and I think just in general anyway, if you're building a mountain that the player ever goes near, it's not landscape. You don't do it with a landscape. Landscape looks ass too close. And it's a trap to like try to like tessellate it and make it look like amazing up close. It's gonna perform like doo-doo. It's gonna be super expensive and bad. Better just to cover it with some like cheap polygon rock or something. These aren't cheap or free. Like there's overdraw, like we're doing like transparency through transparency, but it's not too bad. It's better than like tessellating this like a million times. Or doing like the virtual like texturing stuff. Like that's to me that's kind of expensive. So this is obvious, but these rocks block the background. But it's kind of important. These are the ones we'll use. We'll only use these two for this little layout. Okay, so let's get into the proof of concept. I'm gonna delete all of this for now. These are the rejects. You weren't thick enough, pretty much. But it's good to just kind of see the layout, and again, for the sake of the replay streams, like this is the kit we're working with. So I need to not, okay, so those are foliage, so we're pretty safe. I'm gonna leave these ones in the level. Gons. So you gotta definitely have to do that on like all the kits at some points. Okay, so next, with this kind of like simple concept, I'm gonna build a very small encampment in front of it, behind it. I don't know, maybe I'll just build it right here. I kind of want this layout out there. Like this is kind of like the evolution. Like this is the wall of the castle. So I guess I'll hop in front of it. We're only building for looking in one direction for now. I need something. I need my campfire back. Let me hop into my old level. I'm gonna go turn my campfire into a combined mesh. All Quixel style. Where is it? Bush map 2 and 1 should have it actually. Oh, I think it's open. Yeah, okay. So I kind of messed around and did this yesterday a little bit. I figured out the water, how I want to do the water material. Camera's never going under the water, but we can put a fake post process down there if you wanted to make it look dark or something. We're not going under there. And I need this fireplace because it kind of just sets the scale right. And I need this thing coming with too, but I don't want, these are all separate Quixel meshes. I need to just like chunk this into one piece minus this one. So just this. I need this. Select actor. What are we doing here? How do you merge this thing? Merge. Here we go. Merge. Let's just stick it in here for now. Sure, tree, whatever. SM merge campfire 1. Eventually, we're gonna like craft this proper, but for now, I just need something in here. Okay, that's it. And I'll copy and paste this. These can stay separate. These are from Quixel. Let's do a quick copy. Head over back to my map. Bush, we're on Bush 3 here. Where's all my stuff? It's over here. Okay, where are we gonna build this thing? We're looking this way, sunset's this way. We wanna, for now I don't really care about sunset, but it's something to keep in mind with using UDS where the sun's gonna come up. Yeah. I need my merge. Tree, campfire, there it is. Okay, so that kind of like gives me the campfire is gonna be kind of crucial to the whole, to the game. It's like in V-Rising, it's the I forget what they call it. It's not your coffin, it's the blood thing where you have to put all your blood into it, and it basically, the more you upgrade your blood thing, the bigger your base can be. I think that's how I'm going to do this as well. Like you're going to start with like this itty bitty tiny fireplace, and you can only build out like, I'm thinking like 3x3 to start. You can only build a 3x3 around like a basic starter. And then as you upgrade your fire camp situation, you can build like a bigger base around it. But it kind of like forces placements close to it, which will then allow me to do some sneaky camera work stuff that I basically force you into building your base like kind of a certain way, in a certain orientation to the sunrise, etc. It's like illusion of choice and whatnot. Let me do some foliage now. We are eventually building the 1x1. Did I not bring that back? I need to make this not look like ass, but I'm going to put this here. So like, this is kind of like tier 1, is like something like this. Campfire, this, some crafty stuff. Oh, did I not paste the chopping block in here? Crap. I need that back. Okay, just paste. Okay, it's wherever it is in the other world. It's way over here. Okay. This is T1-ish. T1's the most important as well. Like if T1 feels like shit, that's not gonna work out. T1 needs to be like hyper appealing. It's like has to be like the tightest loop. Like most people will never make it to the end. Like that's probably not true for like Valheim and V-Rising. Actually, I think it is. I feel like most people don't actually last, even in like those like kind of like relatively short games. It's like people are leaving by like T3. So this is the most important place to get it right. So this thing does a whole lot of level blocking as well. But how do we block all of this stuff? So I gave myself somewhat of a path here. So I'm just going to build a hallway to a campsite using just this stuff we have now. I can just start bringing these in at this point. I'll probably delete these out because we actually have them stored as foliage now, so it's not a big deal. Anyway, so we'll start like this. Yeah, we'll just delete those out. We've picked the hero foliage. It took longer than I wanted. That's what game dev is, though, in general. Like anything like this, it takes longer than you want. Download trees, make game. Turns out 4 years. Okay, so I'm going to delete these. We have them stored up. I don't need to keep them around anymore. Let me switch out to foliage here. What's up, Sarah? I'm just going to get rid of these for now. Erase, single. I'm always like confused why this can be single and erase, but here we go. Oh no. Oh, you got to click it. I suck. What are we doing here? There we go. Okay. So let's start it off like this. Okay, we're walking through 2 rocks and we're going to just build a hallway. And I don't have like the world grid sorted out. I don't know how big I want my world grid to be yet. But we're going to start with a row of bushes. I'm just going to put them down one by one. Okay, I've already gone a little bit too little too close. There's like around this is 3 squares of where you can build, but I just don't have that sorted out yet. So we're just gonna do this. Nothing fancy here. Just like, does this idea look like anything? It's obviously very obvious what we've done so far, but you know, we're starting here. Then we're gonna do these trees immediately after them. Like, not even trying to be subtle, just like, I don't want to see the background. I think they could probably even be closer. Right, so this is very, very obvious, this layout. But I'm going to make verizing bases where like you have predefined places you can build. And guess what? The fireplace goes in the middle, so like you don't have that many options. Not procedurally generating anything. Where's our player pawn? How far is this dude? It's not that far, but I'll start him a little closer. I have to run as far every time. We have one lootable tree in here that's not going to be in your base though. But we'll just have it there. Okay, so let's see how ridiculous this looks. This view, no, we're not doing this view. Okay, so first, it already feels big. I want this to be small, like a small thing. This is not a small path. This is a humongous path. So it does pretty effectively start to block the background, but it's way too big. I want this to be way smaller. So I'm going to do like a kind of a like mini build out for like a block out of like how the base will be that you build. It might be smaller. You might just build a 1x1. That's the thing. Is like, we're not building castles. I want to build like kind of like reasonable, pretty small things. Like overall, I want this to be pretty small. I wish I was building on 0, now. It's not too hard to reset that, but it would be a little bit easier. So I was messing with some different like game size blocks for this game. 2x1, remember. When you're on paint, press shift and erase them. Really? Oh, okay. Wait. For foliage or for painting? Painting this stuff. Predefined places sucks. That's what I'm doing though. At least to start. Like to start it. Mostly the map I'm building for like the prototype. You know what I mean? Like here's what things look like. We're mining this thing. It's going to be very controlled. Because then to do free building means I need to procedurally generate the world and then like kind of stick the point of interest in it parametric, like procedurally. That's a different problem. That's a different problem to solve. I'm designing the main game loop. So for now, it'll be like predefined. V-Rising also kicks full ass, full ass, and it's all predefined building. It is a top-down though, so slightly different. 2x2s. It really comes down to the camera view, what feels cozy. I think this one was a 3. I think at one point I had decided on 3, or I tried 3 meter by 1 meter, something like that, as a block. What's our snap at? 10? That'll work, I guess. So that would be like this. Maybe it's a 3x2. It's kind of awkward, to be honest. I think a 3x3 seems nice. And then I'm going to enclose this shit all around us for now. And again, this is like day 1 of this project. So who the hell knows like where it goes. I'm just starting it. Okay, so like this camp I made for it is huge. It's gigantic. These are also kind of like a bit much in the beginning. So I'm going to chill these out for a second. We'll just put these in like the background for now. These are a bit too much. I'm trying to make like, what's the smallest forest I could build? You know what I mean? Like, what's the absolute smallest this could be? And still seem like something. I'm gonna kill all these again. Goodbye. That's the mineable version of it. Okay, so I'm gonna put bushes like directly next to this site. Like, craziness. You just hit shift? Let me test if this is true or not. Shift? Nah. Wait, how come that still... Oh, no, it did say it, but it didn't let me do it. I hit shift and it did do this, but it's not working. I believe you. It like wants to do it, but it's like not doing it. Is it because this one's selected? I'm holding shift. I see it, but I click it and it doesn't work. Oh, am I painting one on top of it? I could be painting one on top of it or something. Wait a minute. Single. Is it because like the little sphere is like tiny or something? I don't know. I'm just gonna paint it I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna keep using that erase button for now. You can't hide your base from zergs. Predefined. Free-pressing rocks. Yeah, yeah. Well, this isn't multiplayer. This is like truly just like my goal for this. Do you know William from like Rust? He probably likes shooting people and like that part of it, but like I just want to build like a super cozy base, survive some rainstorms, cook a fish, and like sit at a campfire for sunset. That's the true goal of this. It's not to like kill all the animals and like what's it called? Shoot everybody. And there's no rating. This is not multiplayer. You know, this is going to be like, I don't know. It's like Mist. Not, is it Mist? Is that what that's called? That I forget. That it's more like chilling alone in the woods, building a house. So this is going to be a true sunset blocker. So that's a problem. But still, today I'm just trying to build some like very, very small, cozy bases. Because again, I am kind of just trying to decide like, you know, what's likely the user's base is going to look like. I'm not going to completely control it, but what's it likely going to look like? Right? So this is a 3x3 with a campfire in the middle, and I've just completely covered it with trees, like in bushes. So it's very obvious, but that's okay. And so like if you wander up in a spot that looks like this, it's like, oh, I should probably build in this jam. Like, and also you're not going to be able to choose. There's only going to be a couple. I'm going to build like a dugout version where you're like in the side of a mountain and then like a full cave or something like that. That's kind of it. And so like these kind of like pretty obvious plots where you're enabled to build like V-Rising, that's where you're going to build. So we kind of control how that happens. And then they're going to be strategically placed to look nice. Especially at sunset. And in T1, you don't have to go very far. Like the game loop is going to be extremely small. Like you're going to walk from like here to here and back. That's the first game loop. And then slowly it's like you go a little further and back. And then a little further. But it's like, you know, this whole game, T1, could take place in 9 of these, right? Just like right around this. So like if this is one game unit or whatever, we just have a 9x9, and all the tiny points of interest essentially are just immediate next to it. That's the scope of the first part. You know, from there it's like, okay, cool. We have our general game block, and then we would, you know, design points of interest to go get more harder to find things. Maybe there's enemies, and then you start procedurally generating those across a landscape. But that's a whole different system that I don't want to build right now. I don't even know how to build that stuff, to be honest. Is that like Subnautica? I haven't played that game. I probably should. I've been like very actively playing a lot of survival games. Yeah, I think you're right about the shift thing. I just it switches to it, but then like it didn't work for me. But there's probably something I'm doing wrong. Okay, so this is our minimum. I'm standing on top of this block, so I'm a little bit taller. But this is a 3x3 base centered around a fireplace. And so my idea is that you can only build. It's going to be pretty hard to build that wall, as in like if you had to cut down that number of trees, it would take my entire life to cut down that many trees. Won't make it that hard, but we're basically going to make a fireplace, make a 1x1, no door, just like literally 3 walls ceiling. That's it. And you're gonna basically put it like this, and it's gonna be looking back towards your campfire, and then when you chill out at your campfire, you should be looking directly into sunset. That's kind of the idea. That's the vibes. Crafting station type situation is going to be our wood block. To start, you only have an axe. That's it, and we're just going to level up axe skills. That's the only goal here. And then this leaves you other plots, like whole other plots over here. We've got base is going to probably go here. You could technically put it wherever you want. In this, any block besides this one, you can put your 1x1, but you're only building 1x1. And so that leaves you what, like 3 over here. Over here, you have all these other blocks, and for like a T1, it's like I'm not going to have that many options for us anyway. So campfire goes in the middle, just like V-Rising, or very similar to V-Rising. V-Rising is you can go bigger immediately. We're trying to stay small, right? So you're going to quote unquote find this. I mean, obviously, like it's like, oh, cool. Hey, guess what? This is the only place you're allowed to build. So that's what's going to happen. And then we need to go out and find trees. That's what's going down next. And so, again, we're not going for procedural placement yet, or possibly ever. And so your point of interest for mineable trees, guess what? It's right next to your fucking base. At least for now. It's right next door. And at this point, you will encounter your first end of the day-night cycle. It should be pretty. You should be out mining your first trees, and oh my god, all of a sudden it's sunset. So beautiful, incredible. So it's going to be over here. You've found your base. You threw it down. You're like, hey, there's trees over here, and we're going to be looking directly down the face of the sun at sunset, which is over here actually. My bad. It's over there. I should have built this at 0, 0. Stupid. It's over here. Ugh. Oh well. It's not that hard to move it over later. So we're building point of interest 1, sort of. It's not like a gas station, but you know what I mean, like I'm gonna put this here for now, and we're gonna have I'm making like a proto level. This is not like the actual level, but like I'm just like, hey, guess what? We don't go anywhere else. You can't go anywhere else. We're completely blocking you. You can go here. That's it. So it's like, guess what? You're going over here. So for now, as stupid as this is, I'm just going to block us completely in by rocks. I'm not even going to spin them around. You're not going anywhere else. You found the one place we're allowing you to go. Oh shit. Again, we're just trying to get the main game loop created and the mechanics that go with it, and generally what that looks like. So what looks really cool, I was testing it yesterday, if we just let Ultra Dynamic Sky rip, is of course looking into sunset towards it with water. Right here. Looks awesome. So it would be nice. Now we've killed it. Like our base is not going to get a nice sunset, so that's not great right now. So we'll see if I can do something about that. I probably can. I just need to cut down a couple trees. You know, what's going to motivate you to look this way versus this way versus this way? It doesn't really matter. But just generally, there's a bunch of trees over here you can mine. They're the only ones you can mine for now. So this is where you're going to want to go. And you're going to be over here during your first sunset, most likely, because there's not much else to do at this point. And I want it to look nice. So I will come up with like a kind of world grid situation, not for building world grid, but for like, you know, blocking out level chunks. Just delete these for now or hide them. I think I just perma-hide them. I think during run, they're going to still be there. I could just delete them for now. That's fine. Just create a nice base place, Depths of Subnautica, and sit in a chair. Is that what you do in Subnautica? I should go play that. That sounds good. This is just a vibes game. Survival vibes. You can die, but actually, it's going to be pretty easy to die. Like, 'cause that's what makes it fun, you know, like, especially in the beginning. It's got to be, like, super aggressive in the beginning. It's like, oh, you didn't, like, make your fire by the first storm? Shit, that's it. You're done. It's just the stakes. So, I want to do, okay, so there's a bunch of trees. You're like, okay, we're a ton of trees. We're going to go mine every single one of these nodes. And to level block for now, I'm going to put a river here. You can't go in it. You can't go in it for now. But it looks really nice. It's sunset. Let's do shift 2 into, I don't know how to sculpt. Shift, here it is, okay. And very low, very shallow, very, very shallow. Do 1024, because computers. And that's a very, where's the fall off? Is at 1? I guess we'll find out. It's fine. So just push, oh my god. We'll just push this down to like 0.1. Very low. I'm going to grab a water plane in a second. I'm not making an island map, so I didn't set it up for like island heights, whatever. We're just going to have like a little bit of river situation going here. That's pretty reasonable to start. We're just going to flatten at a smaller amount, 512. And we're just going to flatten that. That's lower, so this is a river now. Okay, we're not going for like the ideal layout here. We're just going for like base game loop. Are the things here? Okay, that was a little close too. Let me go grab the water plane. Swimming never, dude. Who likes swimming in games ever? It's awful. It's like, I would never. This shit's like knee deep forever. You can just run right through it. There's no drowning. I never like swimming. Swimming's awful in every game ever. Where's this water? Here it is. Water clean. Ah, the cleanest water. Just only the best. Only the best for these users. We're gonna go real big. Where'd it go? I went negative. This thing, guess what? World align textures, you can scale it however you want. I don't have an in me to learn the new water system. I'm gonna just do it this way. It's easier. Where's 0? It's pretty far down. So this is at 100, I think. Yeah, so we could do it like this, or say like 90. Okay, so here's our beautiful sunset reflection catching river for now. It's a little too deep, I can tell already. And so to do the absolute bare minimum to this, I'm gonna make it rocks. That's it. We still have not painted any grass, nothing. Just this. Go ahead and load yourself. You too. You load up as well. Anybody else? We're good. Okay. Let's go full strength on this. I'm not trying to be subtle at the moment. This is rocks, because there's water under there. Here, rocks. Rocks. They do give us like a river spline to be fancy, but I don't want to be fancy right now. I don't feel like fighting a spline for like an hour and losing. This is already dirt. Okay, so then there's like, it's like, okay, there's gotta be grass somewhere. So it might be time to start grassing a little bit. Just to make sure that the palette like looks normal. I already tested this. I'm already really happy with it, but still. Start putting grass in. We basically want to fill the level with grass at this point, actually. I'm going to just do that at the moment. Maybe sure this is the right one. Yeah, that's like the normal chill grass. So we're just going to fill this entire level. And we'll just repaint that other side, because this is default green. So switch this one back to rocks and just paint the rocks into the bottom of the river here. No fading, no, just get it in there. Block it out. Okay, and then immediately outside of this, again, no subtlety here. I guess we'll do tiny bit down. 2, 5, 6. Transitions back into dirt. And yeah, it kind of comes down to like bigger like level design, like where this river's going, blah blah blah. Like, but we're gonna immediately level block. This is the whole game at the moment. You and your base, these trees, this river, that's it. It's the whole game. I swear, even making this part here, just this good, hard, super hard. Like, take me months. Like looking reasonable, feel like playing reasonable, having all the things work, day cycle working. Just this, super hard. Okay. So we have very small scoped here. Let's bring these even like further closer in. I haven't written the respawn mechanic yet, but once you mine these, they shoot wood at you. I'm going to change that behavior slightly now, or just at some point. Then they will grow back exactly where they are. And you basically just scatter these through the world, and like randomly you're like, hey, there can be like 10 trees at a time. Randomly pick one of the spawning nodes, right? And then you have your trees coming back. Okay, on the lazy look, I'm gonna just use these as like a primary. This is not, exactly the best move at the moment. We're just gonna make a wall. I mean, I'm basically doing like level block out, that what you would do in like gray box, but I'm just using meshes, which I don't know. I don't like doing gray box. It's like discouraging to me. But then I do end up spending too much time, like instead of like designing a level, like working on shaders or something that's like for later. What a creative block in this is. Look at, I made it round. It's not a perfect square. Prison, gamer prison. It has a curved edge. It's inviting. Guess what? Cave you can't go in. It's being constructed now. Out of the same weird rock. Where's this water coming from? We don't know. But you can't fit under there. And yeah, we are gonna definitely be hardcore blocking sunset. So that's something I need to work out from a design point of view. So here we are. We have arrived at minimum viable product game. You spawn here, you build base, you get resources, you come back, you keep build base. You can't leave prison till level up. Game created. Incredible. There must be one unattainable resource in here as well. It's like, not yet, scrub. Someday. Someday if you buy all the microtransactions, then we'll let you mine it. But not before. Oh, incredible. Incredible game. Because it's scary. It's scary and new. I'm too afraid of like the new landscaping mode and the new water mode. They're scary. Control W when you do. I control paste. Control W like it like bumps it. You know what I mean? If you control W, it like moves it in space a little bit, and I don't like that. I like it just pasted right where I want it. Okay, we spawn here. Ish. Okay. You could go over there. You're not gonna have an axe yet, though. I'm gonna come in here. I think to start, this is just here. Like, we're looking for game mechanics. I'm not like doing like power curve at the moment. And we're gonna get our axe. And I'm kind of with the in-game tutorials thing. I do like Elden Ring an awful lot. I played it a lot. Like a lot. Like I was a full-time content creator for Elden Ring. I played it like as much as that would be, except I wasn't. Just played it way too much. It's cool. They don't tell you what to do. I thoroughly enjoyed my time playing V Rising, where they told you what to do until end game. They were like, at the end of the game, it was like, please go kill the last boss. I liked that. The whole thing was guided. I also like Satisfactory, where they guide you the whole thing almost. Like the whole game is a tutorial to learn how to play creative mode. I like my little checklist. You know, I'm cool with that. Like, I thought V Rising was fine. Was not fine. Was fun. I liked just completing the checklist. So I'm kind of with that for this. It's going to be like, guess what? Make a campfire. Cool. Go get your damn axe. You have your axe. Excellent. You need to build a base. Go get some trees. So I'm going to just tell you what to fucking do. For now. Yeah, is my time of day happening? Let's crank this time of day cycle now. Let's just like see how bad this looks for now. Let's put all these rocks in a folder. They're beautiful. Not repetitive. These are the rocks. Tree nodes. These are our nodes for now. Some stuff, water, campfire, don't really need to organize this stuff so much. The water I'm going to stick into environment for now. And these are just placeables, and we have our pond just pre-spawned out for us here. Let's crank the time-lapse mode in dynamic sky. 1 minute day, 1 minute night. Let's hit it. Alt W. Yeah, that's a good one too. That's true. I think the sun's moving now, right? Where is it? There it is. Look at it go. It's cranking. Okay, so that is just to kind of like mess around in this. Full daylight looks like ass. I am looking for a perfectly flat terrain though, if I can pull it off to start. Like, I just want it to be perfectly flat. Right? Go in the water, but there's nothing to do really, but it looks pretty. Oh, wait for it. Oh, we're missing it. We're missing the sunset. Go back. Oh, shit. There it is. It actually looks bad. But anyway, we can make it look better. Look how fast the sun goes. Oh, my God. Anyway, it's like, oh, it's nighttime. Where's the moon? There it goes. Oh, look it. So beautiful. I need to go put a point light in the fireplace. Look at it go. Look at it go. So I forget if I've retuned this. I tuned this for pretty dark. Not rust dark, but like dark. So here's our little prison. Our rock prison. And okay, so now it's a little bit insane that we've like blocked in this side with the bushes. We don't gotta do that. So that was just like the beginning of the idea. So right now, first of all, it's gonna block sunset, which is over there. Always clear view to sunset. Always. This is like design tenant 1. However that needs to be, like the base is up in the air somewhere. Whatever. because one of the main mechanics is that we're coming back and you need to chill at the base. It's required. You will die. If you don't chill at this base and look at the sunset, you're gonna die. Probably sunrise too. Oh, look at it. Oh my goodness. It's beautiful. This is the most beautiful asset flip I've ever made. But you're mostly chilling at sunset. That's the main move. Or your mental health bar is gonna go down and then you die. I'm not kidding. So I'm gonna get rid of these ones now. So we've kind of like blocked ourselves in a little too aggressively here, but it was the beginning. It was, you gotta start small. It was like, hey, we're building this 3x3. I like that idea to start with. You can only build a 3x3 with a tier 1 campfire. I like it. I like it. We're gonna deforest this real quick though, and not completely block sunset. Not block sunset at all. I don't really want to block sunrise either, but yeah. Anyway, so how about this for a cringy update to this? We're gonna put these tall trees all against the perimeter of the box. See how bad that looks. Oh, that's so much trees. Oh, we're gonna just do single. Oh, sorry, I wasn't reading the chat. For hitting the tree, yeah, I built that from scratch. It's pretty basic for now. Yeah, I kind of wish I streamed like all of it. I'll probably reprogram it at some point. I mean, I'm definitely gonna program it, like upgrade it. So definitely kind of show how that works. You at the moment you basically line trace to the tree, and you tell the tree that it got hit, and then the tree spawns a little piece of wood, and that piece of wood has physics on it, which took a little while to get that, not being ridiculous. And then after a certain time, if the player walks on top of the tree chunk, it moves towards him and he collects it. So I'm going loop pinata. Loop pinata style is fun. I like it. Okay, so we're like, I feel like I'm designing this like a top-down game, but that's, I don't know. I'm in V-Rising mode, even though we're a third-person game. Not that this is good as I'm just like from like a design point of view. I want it to be simple, like stupid, like really simple, because then if I ever decide to make it procedural, it needs to be very basic, or else I'm not gonna be able to program it. It can't be too fancy. So we're ignoring slope. There's no Z axis to this design yet. I started making a mountain yesterday, and I was like, yeah, no, like that's actually pretty hard. And I'm not here to like make the dopest level generator forest. I just need a forest to do my things in. So I'm trying to make like the simplest rules that I can possibly make for this, if I'm gonna ever do this procedurally or semi-procedurally. Like it would be cool, like there's even for me a tiny bit of replay value in the tier 1 loop if this base layout is just slightly different every time. That's it. It just has to be like, you make like 4 versions. It's not even fully procedural. You just make 4 versions of the starter bases, and it's random which one you get. That's fine. If it has the same kind of like simple rules and how they look, I'm cool with that. We're going bushes through the water. That's how it's happening. So I'm still just using the same idea. I don't know if it's good. Of rocks are your full prison wall, but to make the prison wall look nicer, they've got tall trees and thick bushes. And that's the idea for now. No foliage on the ground yet. Flat ground. We're going flat ground. Okay, I don't like that you immediately see out here. Also, I kind of like this being... I miss my like very clear base definition. I'm gonna maybe do it with rocks, or maybe I'll put the bushes back in. I'm gonna put the bushes back in for now. We're not trying to be subtle about this. It needs to be like immediately recognizable. This is where base goes. So I think it was like something like this. It could be done with rocks. It could be more subtle. But it needs to be very clear you have wandered into a 3x3 where you are supposed to build the base. And it looks good. It should look like you want to build it there as well. I'm going to paint it dirt. Let's see how that goes. We'll see. Paint, dirt. Here we go. This is even more clear. Here we go. It's a different damn material. Okay. So let's see. Let's do even better job of perfectly placing these resource nodes. This one's like in the thing. This one. A. Okay. Okay, so now I'm gonna add grass, and I'm gonna add a bunch of trees in the background. See how it looks, and that is starter game. I'm playing a lot of Roblox. This is like kind of like semi-inspired by that it's like absurdly simple. Like it's like so simple. I like it though. Like I could probably design these levels like this to go and dress this nicely. It's gonna take a while. Like, you know, like, but make it like absurdly small. I like it a lot. Like this, it's not happening. You have to procedurally generate maps this big. Like it's crazy. I kind of like this idea, and then slowly we can do different biomes, like, and it's small, and that means I can pump the quality on like the assets because it's like it's small. Like you don't see a mile down the river. Okay, let's do foliage. Which grass are we using? There's a bunch, but the problem is the grass kind of like covers up the loot spawns, but I mean I guess this is like small, not the biggest problem that we're looking to solve at the moment, but it's kind of was an issue before. These are bushes. We're just gonna go straight grass, so that's it looks like I've been using these two. Seems good. And then let me grab these willows near the water, and yeah, that's kind of all I'm looking to do for now. From the level layout, you know, you're supposed to do this in gray box. You're not even supposed to like care about the graphics this early. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. I care immediately. So let's look at the densities of these. What? It didn't work because I'm in a race. Let's do paint. We only want to draw on the landscape for now. What the hell? Looks like I have the bushes on or something. Oh yeah, bush. Are these on? Are these doing things? I'm just going to throw these down and then mess with their settings. At this small of a level, I barely have to cull the grass, to be honest. I was kind of building like I started building a level that was this big and then quickly realized again that that's ridiculous. From a performance point of view, it becomes a problem too. You almost need to like unload stuff, like, and I don't want to unload anything. We're going to load the whole game. Each level is a full load. We're not unloading things and reloading them. And open world again is a disaster for indies. It's super hard. Let's throw this down over here. In the final one, I'm going to literally hand place every single one of these pieces of grass. But for now, do like this. I think we can go thicker, probably. What are these at? Go 15. Oops. I'm not even looking at the scale. I think they're huge too, but we're going to go 15, 50. I'll go 15, 10. Just like reapply. You globally can change where they cull. So like even if you go super dense, if you start culling them like pretty early, it's somewhat reasonable. And they don't like drop. You don't like typically view through all the grass. Like you're usually like on like viewing it from the top. So they're not too bad. But this is like one of the easiest ways to kill your frame rate is to draw like a ton of grass. Next we do this one. They're all off. Let's see. I thought they looked kind of cool, just like here. It's too many. We're gonna do too many because they look cool at the sunset. That's why you're here. And let's go pick some trees. Just one tree. Hero tree for the background. I had already chosen it. I forget which one it is. Damn it. I think it might be. This one's looking pretty blocky. Is it this? Find out. Take this one. And again, thick is the name of the game here. Just block the background. Take this. These look pretty thick. Thick trees only. I'm almost going to place these one by one. It's going to look ridiculous, but I'm gonna place them one by one. What tree is this? Which one is this? This one, I have no idea. Animals, maybe. These are too close for how gigantic they are, but I'm just gonna put them down. I know it's like a tenet of survival games to like kill animals, and I'm not like completely against that, but I feel like it's gonna hurt me to like develop the part where we kill animals. It's just gonna feel bad. I don't know. I feel like that's gonna. I don't really want to. Kind of want to like pet the dog more than anything. Damn, we really let the scale be different on this one. Okay, so this is just me and like 5-year-old as you can like approach placing trees. It's just literally a circle around the base, but I want to see how stupid that is. Because if I'm going to eventually write rules to do this procedure, they need to be stupid. It needs to be like, draw a circle around area, place tree randomly across circle. There's probably like splat mappy ways of doing it from like Houdini maps and stuff like that, but I'd rather do this like as like basic as possible. Okay, that's still not enough to like really block the background, but it might be. Let me see. Again, we're like low camera angle, right? Not this one, we're here. Okay. It's a little bit crazy looking. This is the worst time of day to spawn into this, but you know, for a very cartoony, memey way of laying out foliage, I think it's generally okay. I'm not sure what's happening back here. I think the coziest place to build your base is in the corner of the world so that you're like level blocked on two sides, you know? So probably the coziest place to stick this encampment is here. And you're blocked in by like mountains or something. Look at this sunset ripping. It's ripping through the world. Oh my god. Then we're at twilight. Then the moon comes out. And we have our fake forest prison. Raise chickens. Yeah, I think raising chickens is the vibe for sure. That seems like kind of like an end game for this, though, because like you'd have to have like a pretty stable place to live to raise chickens. But yeah, I'm kind of with chickens. We don't kill them though, man. We just for the eggs. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you said it. That's it. Yeah, I would be down. I don't know what you're eating. You know, I don't feel bad about killing fish. You know, like fuck fish. Like, but killing a chicken feels bad. Can you imagine like killing an actual chicken? Like I've never killed a chicken. Like IRL. Like that's mean. A wolf? That's a dog. You know what I mean? Like, what game is it? Pretty sure. Yeah, wolves. You're killing wolves in Rust. Like, that's awful. That's like so close to being your dog. How about we tame the dog and we train it to hunt berries or something? Okay, I'm gonna stick the base in the corner. That's 100% like the coziest place to have the base is in the corner. Here you're like super exposed. Like, why would you do it there? That's awful. So I'm gonna move it into the corner. Let's do this foliage. Chop this stuff down. You've like selected all, don't you, to like have it erase? That's unfortunate. What if I just select everything? You can do this and then click it? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, okay. So then we can erase this stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna move the base into the corner. Like, I'm gonna guess from my like deep understanding how humans work is that you're gonna want to be in the corner and you're gonna put your base, your 1x1 in the corner. I bet. That's where I'd want to put it anyway. I'll get rid of the trees for now. I'll sort out if I need to put trees in it. And we'll make a cozier little corner for ourselves. Damn it, I need my blocks back. We'll just fake it for now. It's not going to be like geometrically correct yet. On like where the world mesh is going to, or where the world grid is. We're not at that phase yet. Just going to paint some, landscape painting. Just going to paint some rocks in here. I'm not vegetarian or vegan. I love meat, but like I don't kill my animals to eat the meat though. If I had to kill them, I probably would be a vegetarian. I'm not trying to kill a damn chicken or a cow. Jesus, how hard? I don't even know if I could kill a cow, given the tools. I don't think I could do it. Oh man, we just up. This base is huge now. Huge base. Let's move the 1x1. Okay, I'm just gonna put this 1x1 where I think everyone's gonna put it. Is here in the corner. We are not on any world grid, and when you left click and drag in Unreal Engine and you miss the gizmo, it's a wild time. This is going to be a bit of a sunset blonker, so we'll see. Oh, no, we want to be, it'll be like this. I mean, I can force it. I mean, I might in the beginning. Force, like, you just like feed it wood and it assembles, you know what I mean? It's not like you're like, we're here to like when you're, I don't know, like, I could definitely, I can build it like, however, like we could make it so that you build like the most elaborate, like whatever, but like, I think in the beginning at least, they're like completely predefined what the layouts are going to be. Based on like basically looking at YouTube videos of people building little things in the woods, I'm going to basically recreate those. And again, like if I let you free build completely, you'll free build yourself out of the damn prison I built you, and that's not allowed. You must stay in the prison. It's kind of what's genius I didn't realize about V-Rising and top-down games is it's so much easier to trap the character and it not feel so bad. Though it's one of the main reasons I don't like top-down is it does feel bad actually, but like compared to like a 3D game, it's like it's a lot harder to trap the player in there and it feel okay, if that feeling okay. Anyway, here's it's a little bit wonky now, but I feel like most people are going to want to build into the corner. Like this is like the coziest, but we'll see. I don't know where my 3x3 is anymore. Like it's something like this is 1 and then there's 3 blocks surrounding it, I think is the way to think of it. So I think this is like a likely way to do it. I'll just cheat a little bit and stick some trees behind us here. Or we'll build like a proper looking like little mountain back here. But for now, I'm just going to stick trees back there again. What trees? Christmas trees. Let's do this. Yeah, just deselect all of them. Give my Christmas trees back. These little ones. We're not even culling these, I don't think. They're just LODing. I'm pretty sure. Single. For every square foot of wall, there is tree. It's the rule of this world. And bush. Immediately then bush. Though it's going to kind of come to our base a little bit. Whatever, I'll just going to put this in there right now. Nah, this tree's in the way, but we'll see. I'm going to paint away this too. We're not proper world gridded yet. What are we doing? Full paint. I'm going to just guess it's like here. Let's get rid of this. Dude, that's the coziest little human prison I've ever created, I think, right there. This is incredible. I'd live here. Super would live here. How easy is to delete all things? We select everything. Erase mode. Everything. Put some grass here. Go run around. This is the worst time of day to spawn in. This time of day is awful. It makes me feel so bad immediately. I gotta change, like, just for testing at the moment, like what time of day we start at. Paint. Again, I will be hand placing every single piece of the grass eventually. But for now, I'm just going to chuck these in here. And we could go next level foliage is bush. Like these are like, I mean, these are huge chunks of grass to be honest, but like, and pretty sparse for how small this level is. But bushes would be next and then like flowers basically. And that would be our first little like mini diorama game set. Oh, again, the worst time I did to spawn in right now. And it's overexposed. I gotta go change the exposure settings. Let me go do that. This is awful. So I will be using, for now, Ultra Dynamic Skies exposure system. It's pretty nice. It's definitely like multiple levels more than I've ever thought about an exposure system. Because it's parted out by time of day and weather, which is kind of insane. So we're going to say daytime, -0.5. It's immediately darker. Looks much nicer. Nighttime, I think I sorted out. I like 0.25 darker. And I'm not really immediately doing weather. But if you do, you got to underexpose all this stuff. Yo, Dusty looks crazy. Look at that in a second. Max brightness 10. Something like that. Those are the kind of settings I thought looked kind of okay. Dude, look at... I turned off the environment. The environment's not... I think we're not using any shaders that react to this stuff, but this is crazy. This freaking Blade Runner. Oh my god, what? We might have to let this like rip. This is like blood movies level. This is nuts. And we can at least fake have the trees start to like respawn in this. Starfish is better. Yeah, I'm killing the fish was cool. In a game, I'm not like keeping a fish, so I don't really feel that bad about it. But like, if I caught a wolf in a video game, I was like, what if we just take the wolf home, give it a name, you know what I mean? Build it like a little doghouse out of like twigs. Like, I think that would feel better than killing it for some damn. Like, let me tell you, like, I don't think skinning a wolf in its fur, if you're in the woods, it's not that comfy. Like the wolf, like raw wolf skin. I don't want to wear it. Look at this outfit I got here. I don't need wolf skin. I guess I don't want the wolf to kill me. Coziest one, but whatever. I don't know how they did this, but he has it so that the developer, I'm pretty sure it's a he, went to the YouTube channel, has it so that the weather doesn't come into interiors, and he has it so that it's probably so loud. I'm not listening to that. I'm gonna turn down like the game audio. I'm not listening to the game audio at the moment. It's too hot. But the weather doesn't come in the interior, so there's like some sort of collision going on. I guess. It's still really freaking loud. I can't hear it, but I can see it ripping in OBS. Anyway, this mode's crazy. And we don't even have landscape reacting yet. I think we have to use this. It's too good not to use it. Let's see. They're all good. I should switch to the reactive landscape. I guess I could. Let's look at the snowstorm, rainstorm. The snow one looks a lot better if you have the weather on the landscape. Escaping Tarkov. The lightning. Anyway, this is so I'm thinking like it's super early in this phase though. Like tier 1, we're not dying to animals or something like that. Pretty much die to not finding food. Makes sense. It's like the first thing we need to figure out, and then shelter. Basically, I think it's gonna be something roughly like now it's nighttime and rain. Something along the lines of if you're wet and it's night, your mental health is going to decline like pretty quickly, and once mental health hits a certain point, your regular health just falls off a cliff, and you're going to die to just not being in shelter pretty much. Not from like rain being like acidic or something, but like it's just awful to sit in the rain in the dark and be cold, and then you die. Your spirit dies, and then your body dies. It's kind of the idea with it. And there's different things that'll make you more resilient to it, because it's pretty damn easy to do these cycles of like nice weather into rain. The main thing I need to tie in, I mean, it's fairly easy to tie in the everything turns wet. That's not so bad. It's just the wind, because they didn't implement wind on these assets in a way that's like globally changeable. So I'm not really sure how to grab. Can you just ask for all foliage material instances and set float values on it? It's all speed wind, kind of like it's just in the material instance you're like the speed is 10 and the strength is 5, and then the trees go all over the place. Most of the foliage, I don't think the trees themselves actually are whipping around, but what we could do at this point too is switch to the speed not speed tree, the quixel trees, and they have a global actor that will like change everything. So it's kind of for like the background biome trees, those could be quixel or whatever tree is gonna allow me to like kind of match the environment. That's what I'll probably end up using. Suicide, I mean rust suicide is like one of the main mechanics that you do. I mean, like constantly. It's like even like if you're good at the game, you're constantly like literally suiciding yourself. No, it's not suicide. You just die. It's pretty much like I basically want to force people to have to chill. Like in games like Rust and Valheim, you can throw down a chair and it's like kind of funny that you can sit in it. It's like, haha, that's funny. In this game, you have to sit in the chair. Like, and I need a reason for that. It's like you have to sit in the chair at sunset and look at the sunset. And if you do that, you win the game or whatever. I mean, it's got to be like it's the whole reason I'm making this game is that you have to sit and look at the sunset. So it's going to be something like doing that is going to recharge your like mental health, spirit, like whatever. And if you don't do it, you're going to die. It's pretty much chill or die. That's the name of the game, like for real. Like that's the game mode. It's chill or die. Yeah, you got to eat. Yeah, you got to not be in the rain, but you have to chill or else you're going to be so sad in your fishbowl that you're going to die. That's kind of what's up. Tree it? What is that? Is that in the marketplace? I feel like between this kit and like the Quixel trees, I'll be pretty good. But I'm definitely trying to try some stuff. So I'm going to switch to the landscape material that has UDS or whatever hooked up to it and take a peek at it. These textures are not designed to look good wet, and they don't, but that's changeable as well. I'm overall pretty happy with this little fishbowl. This is what I was looking to get done today. So I just sorted this out last night, getting all this all merged in here and whatnot. I have no idea where anything is. Where is my landscape material? So that's going to be part of this, except I modded this. It's this one, the UDS, this one, I guess. I'm going to switch this landscape material to the UDS one. It's going to recompile. Luckily, all the amazing landscape painting I've done is still here. Good. So, I needed not default in that mode, but anyway, so perfectly flat. This is going to be awful, but this is what it looks like clean, right? This is just like dry. I don't know how you change this in code. It's probably not too hard. I feel like you can just talk to this and be like, set weather this asset, hopefully. But this is what it looks like in like regular rain. This shader didn't... Oh, this doesn't look like it's doing it. Okay, so you have to enable it. Down here, and it's probably pretty expensive to do it. So we'll probably have to turn it off from like a setting. You have to be able to disable it from like a performance point of view. Also, if it's like, I'm going to turn the volume down of the system. I'm not listening to the system. I just can tell like it's cranking. So I'm just going to turn the audio that comes from this like way down. So landscape stuff here. And there's probably all sorts of like other lots and lots of stuff that I have not looked at yet. Puddle coverage. We should go like, I want to go like big stuff. I mean, there's a ton of parameters and all sorts of stuff I probably have I just have not looked at. Okay. So this is when the landscape reacts to the weather. Our landscape is ridiculous and flat, so it looks ridiculous. But we can move it up. We can change it a little bit. We get these puddles for free, and if I put the little, you can put these little something on the feet bones, and then they'll do splash splash, which is cool. But it's more in the snow. The fact that it leaves snow trails is pretty awesome. So here's raining. And yeah, it's pretty easy. And even with the trees you can make the trees get wet too, but like, it's pretty subtle. I'm kind of okay with like, if it's raining, you turn up the wind on the foliage. That's it. That's all we really need. Okay, so now it's really dark. It's gonna lightning, I think, but I'm gonna go put a light in the fireplace. You can export as FBX. For what? Are you talking about for tree? Anyway, this is very dark. I'm gonna put my fireplace active now. But yeah, luckily I was definitely not planning on doing weather, and I wouldn't do weather if it was like, if I had to build it, but UDS just comes with UD weather and it's super easy. So we are doing weather. Let's do a point light. I pretty much just need to have the trees like have their wind turned up. That's it. So whatever mechanic it is to talk to like the foliage material instance and just be like, it's literally 2 parameters like wind 5, wind strength 5, wind speed 5, done. Like that's it. That's enough. And then worry about the game. Like that's the visual. Let's crank this up a bit. Yes, you must be warmed by the campfire at sunset, or you die. Gotta tune this. Karma? If you damage the surrounding, you have to suffer? I don't know. It's kind of like a mining game, so try not to like de-incentivize cutting these trees down. So probably not. probably not. Get where you're coming from though. I mean, that's kind of like when you play Satisfactory, I think they have that like somewhat as part of the game loop, is that you kind of feel like you're this like heartless corporation just like mining the shit out of this like beautiful planet. And you're kind of supposed to semi feel bad about it. But not too bad because you build in a mega factory. Okay, we're going to wait for it to be nighttime again and check out the hardcore vibes that come from it when it's raining. And there's a fire camp over here, campfire. I'm less into the this placement actually. I feel like I'll leave it to the player probably. Like you basically need to throw down the fire for now here, and then you have whatever how many cubes around it to put your base in, and even the orientation, I guess. I mean, you can't have it face away from you. Oh, we missed the visors. Okay, so this fire is a little bright with the auto exposure system. Well, there's no sky because it's nighttime. There's no stars because it's raining. But look at the puddles. But actually, I take it back. The way I'd want to build this now, for me, is I would put it here, looking back towards the water. I feel like I always want to look back towards the water when I'm building a base. And I'm pretty sure I put sunset over there. So that's what that would be. I'm going to change back to some different weather. Oh, snow's pretty cool. Except I don't have the footprint stuff working. But like, look, it just like automatically, boom, like landscape snowy. And there's like params for it, and you can get footprints. Though we're playing in this view, so you kind of won't see the footprints unless you're looking down. But we can get the free footprint system going. And here's our 1x1. Yeah, 100%. You want to look towards the river. I think I want to be like, I'd spin the 1x1 so that if I'm chilling, I'm looking this way, like this, something like that. So yeah, UDS and UD weather is like pretty insane. No, wait till nighttime, and then go back to daytime stuff. River is just here to be pretty. There's not much to do in it yet. Oh, do I have the collision off or on? I need to turn the collision off on the water, but I'm gonna let it cycle to nighttime. There's our snow sunset, and there's our campfire. Just way too bright over there, but pretty cool. Doing lumen stuff, lumen things in here. Oh, we're back. We're safe. We must drink coffee. We must recharge. It's not bad in there. It's kind of chill. This is very bright. I don't know how to deal with the auto exposure system. I usually just lock exposure, so it's not something I'm used to doing. I'm gonna make it not snowy though, but it's pretty free. I imagine that's pretty easy to change in code, like at runtime. Let's see here. I should go hit a tree real quick. Okay, so I mean that's pretty much the idea. I'm gonna grab a couple rocks and just chuck a couple key rocks in here, just to kind of break it up a little bit. Yeah, and that's the initial block out and overall design goals to hit this level. Like this is the first level you would ever play. I was actually thinking you build a tent first. This might be tier 2, is cutting down trees, because they really like taking a tarp and like putting lines across trees and making a tarp. That seems like lower level than a wood house. So it could be that too, but I haven't built out that mechanic yet. But that would be kind of a cool use of the chaos cloth, is to have the tarp be like flapping around, and you just have to survive the storm to be let out of the cage. Where are these rocks? Mesh. I haven't gone through and picked the hero ones. There's gonna be the one that's like really good. I think one of the flat ones is pretty nice if I remember correctly. And then there's like paths and there's a lot of ways to take this from like I think this one, ground rock maybe. Okay. I need like boulder situate, like small boulder. I just don't remember which ones are good. Ground rock, is this tiny? I mean, we could do ground foliage, but whatever. At that point, it's whatever. But I didn't like a level blocking kind of zone me in type situation. Mountain stone. These are really small. I can tell these have been loaded into memory. I've like taken these out. Mountain rock big. These ones are green. They look very sulfury, like in a rust context. I don't like them. Ground rock. I could maybe. I don't know. Let me see if I can just scale these up and make them look like something. And again, rocks can just come from Quixel, pretty easy too. Lots of places to get rocks. But just throwing a couple of rocks in here will help set up the little diorama scene we have here. This also kind of like further blocks us into this. This is what I was thinking, is like in a more subtle, nice way, just kind of block ourselves into here. I could also do like the root assets. Oh, this is kind of like a root. It's for dirt, but I know, it'd be kind of like make more sense here. It's blocking our base, which I don't like. But for now, I'm just kind of trying to address this. I'll just take this boulder all over the place for now. We do want to be pretty reserved with our how many different types of assets. So it's just about like picking a couple, keep the memory down, and then scale it, place it all over the place. Definitely take this boulder and turn it into like all the boulders we would ever need in here. Guess what? That's what's blocking this too. We're not. I don't have a very convincing blocker here. Somehow water got through. I don't know how, but anyway, here it is. It's blocked even more convincingly. Beautiful. Out here. Yeah, and so like this I feel like is a reasonable thing for me to dress solo. And kind of design out. And I still think there's like some like kind of basic fun mechanics that can be done. It's like basically just you versus the weather and yourself to some degree. And you know, really basic node situation, like I think I'm gonna do it like so like all the nodes respawn after you sleep. Something like that. Like it doesn't, I don't want to like sit there for like too long. Something basic. Like you're basically hard capped in a level like this how much you can mine a day. And I think in the beginning it's like gonna take it's gonna take quite a while to even cut down one tree. In this low of a tier, right? And then eventually you're just like ripping the whole forest down with one like Kamehameha or something like that. That's always fun in the end. It's just like smash this entire forest down like a second. But not in the beginning. And we kind of avoid the landscape issue now if I just never see the landscape. Which is like how to solve all of this. In this case, I barely even need a landscape. I could just like pretty much sculpt a static mesh in like Houdini or ZBrush. It's so small. But I think oh, here's our vibes. Okay, here it is. Yeah, this is like crucial vibes here. Is that like, okay, starry, campfire, and then when you sit in here, it's gonna be one of my animations, and you're gonna get a better view of yourself and the lovely clothes I've made. Where's the moon? It's all the way up there. So the only thing from like a design point of view, not the only thing, but like the main thing is like this feels a little empty. Like it just needs something to kind of block this off. That's pretty much it for me. And then like your entrance is kind of like, I feel like it's pretty cool to come from here. So it could just be like trees. That might just do it for now, or bushes. I think just trees. But I kind of want to be able to see it. I don't know. That's the only thing. I just need something like here for me, and I feel pretty good about today. I think they're just going to be bushes. Shift 3'd, but who knows what I'm actually painting down, so that's not good. I think these ones for now. And we have like tons of other ones, but I'm just trying to like stay with like, simple kit. I don't want to like completely block it off. I don't know, maybe I do. I guess I do want to completely block it off. It's like partially, and then we lost our like middle ground trees here or something. I don't super love starting in this corner either, but it kind of makes sense to have like a spawn design. And then so like, yeah, it's kind of like I'm thinking like Roblox here. It's like, like each zone is very simple with a very specific goal. You know exactly what you're trying to do. It's not open world. You're not looking for anything. It's like, here's the stuff, do the things, and then we're going to the next one, And then just try to keep them like in this idea. Like maybe this is like one game block, right? And then like it gets bigger, right? Your base is further from it. So maybe like next time it's 2 of these, and you got your base here, but you got to go all the way across the river. That's farther. Because you're hauling you're going to be hauling the trees back one by one. So like the further you do that, the worse that is. And so I guess if you're like stronger, you could pick up more trees at once. That would be freaking hilarious to have like 20 trees over your shoulder and walking back. That's hilarious. That's probably gonna have to happen. But try to make this like reasonable from like a solo design point of view. It's like getting this loop tight. It's gonna take a while. And the next one, maybe it's a 2x1. Then it's like an L. Then it's a 2x2. You know what I mean? It's just like keep it small. Don't even rely on landscape sculpting because it's kind of a nightmare. All right, it's hard to do well, I think. I tried to make a mountain. I was immediately like, that's not it. That's gonna look ass like for a very long time. I don't want that. That's what almost works like this for me. And kind of, you know, focus on like the reward is like the nice visual of you sitting at your campfire at sunset. So that may not work for everyone, but that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna put a big rock over here. It's very bright. We can go get some Quixel rocks for sure for this kind of stuff. Who knows? And maybe I'll probably bring in the Quixel stuff to test. We could always have a level that's like not using this base kit. It's just this base kit's very strong from like the mountains, landscape material, the trees. Like, I mean, this came together very quickly. And then it's just designing out different building mechanics, different resource nodes, and like, yeah, just kind of, for me, hitting the nice mocaps over here, making sure we have a nice view of the sunset when it happens. It's pretty much should be the general scope of things, and then it's just making it happen. The ridiculous rock wall, I'm not even that mad at it. It's not that bad because you kind of cover it with trees. This is the worst lighting to boot into. I kind of like the partially obscured thing over here. It's so bright. I thought I brought the exposure down. We got to bring it down even further. What is all this? This is like, I would like to, I'm just going to put this into a folder of stuff for now. Props. I don't know. I just need to immediately get to my stuff. I guess this is environment light. Yeah, I'm not used to having like such a strict lighting budget too. We couldn't have too many lights. It's pretty much the UDS and like maybe 1 or 2 lights. Like we can't have too much in here. Skylights. We need to chill this exposure out a ton, like a whole stop down. I had this tuned to my other level in a way I liked it. Yeah, it might be a full stop. I'm used to just locking exposure. Yeah, definitely deeper shadows like this. I kind of like this idea though. It's like extremely realistic Roblox. It's kind of the idea. Really nice animations, hopefully. Nice skins, hopefully. Nice environments. I gotta kill the collision on this. It's kind of nice to really go inside of it. Looks nice. I can just put like a volume in here that senses that you're in water if we needed to have like status effects. I'm not gonna do it. I don't really feel like doing anything fancier than that. Oh, this is large. Doesn't need to be that big. But turn the collisions off in here. Have like splashy footsteps and stuff. It's not like we don't have like one unified system for that yet, but it's not too hard. If I keep everything kind of small. Yeah, we need to not start at 9. It's like so demoralizing for me. Like sky. It's sky. This is the worst time of day to start. Let's start at like actual sunrise. So like 800, 700, 600. 600 is twilight. So this will crank out pretty quick. So we'll start in the dark every time. Oh my god, yeah, right into sunrise every time I play the game. As a developer point of view, that's it. Yeah, now it gets ass. It's gonna get more daytimey. Overhead light. It's nice. This is a nice prison. Just gonna mine these trees. It just immediately turned into firewood. It's not always gonna be like this. Haven't written the inventory system yet. Oh my god, physics. Looting up these rocks. Or those the wood. It's a little dark in the shadows. I'll kind of keep exposure down, but maybe let the sky be a little bit brighter. I think that's gonna feel nice. And I like booting into this level, and it's just always perma twilight. It's a little dark. Can't really lay out a level like this, but maybe actually this is not a bad idea. I want to know how in code we talk to this system. I haven't blueprinted anything with these. That's also not how you make blueprints. I'm not used to 5. So I'll just level blueprinted for now. Whoa. Reference for this thing. Set time, hopefully. Set date and time? We just want time. Is there an API for this, or what's this? This is if you're gonna do takes time code struct. Wow, what takes date time? We just set it, I think, like set time of day. Are we just setting a float right on this, like just straight up? I guess that makes it's pretty raw. I'm also interested in, you can have events fire and stuff from this. I could probably open up the blueprint and even mod it, I suppose. I guess that's possible. Anyway, I need to, like, as that thing is doing things, it needs to start firing events, and then everyone just subscribes to those events essentially. Like this is the new tick of the game. Like whatever this thing is doing for tick, that's what's up. So it is this probably. So I'll set it to 600 on the begin play. Are the trees nanite? They're not. They could be though, I suppose. These are from the marketplace, and they're kind of an old kit. I'm gonna try the Quixel trees, but they're not. I don't really know that much about nanite. All I know about nanite is how to turn it off in the menu. But this would be a pretty safe project to actually start experimenting it on with, like, you know, the backgrounds could be nanite and stuff like that, I guess. But they're not, and I don't know that much about it though. This would be a pretty safe one to do. So I'm gonna put this back to 900. So it's just in the day. So when we're laying out the level, but hopefully when I start the game now, it goes to. Yeah, Lumen takes a second to catch up, but it did switch it. But we have the day-night cycle going so fast right now that it's like, you know, wasn't a very nice looking one. So we'll do like 400. Let it actually get dark, and at a certain point in this, I'll try to sort out how long I think like a day should actually be. Okay, so now that gives it a second to like actually start. Let nanite catch up, or not nanite, Lumen. There's the sun going down. Here comes sunset. Oh, lovely. So lovely. I made the water too deep. We can spin. Yeah, so that's nice. I think that's a nice presentation. I think I'm gonna record a demo of it. Like we just start in just watch the full day-night cycle happen in 2 minutes, just to have it recorded. Yeah, we collide with this. Oops. Anyway, so the tree mechanic next is gonna be I think we're starting with a tent actually. I want to start with a tent, but anyway, at a certain point we're building houses like this. And this is clearly made up of lots of those trees. Lots of them. So many. More than is in this level. Like if you needed to actually mine those one for one, here comes sunset. You gotta go back to the base and chill. You're gonna die. Oh my goodness. The fastest sunset ever. It's too dark to explain it now. But anyway, when you knock this tree down, you're gonna get it as a log. And then you need to pick up the log, we'll put it on our shoulder, and we're going to dump it into a log pile or something like that. And you need to collect a lot of them before you could erect something like this. So this might be, I think this might be later on, because this is kind of a lot of trees to make that sort of thing. So in the beginning, you might like spawn with a tent, and you need to like, there'll be like 2 trees that you basically have to do it to. It's like, you kind of like attach a line to one tree, a line to another tree, and then plop up your tent. And then it'll be like, you know, flipping around in the wind and stuff like that. I'm not sure what like if that's how it starts, like what exactly the game loop is, like what we're trying to gather to get out of that phase, but that may make more sense, because if we want this to be like, I think a little more lovely sunrise, like at all semi-realistic with this, it's like, okay, well you would need to cut down, like let's just say 10. Right, and that's probably more like 100 or something like that. 10, and this little starter zone here, there actually is kind of 10. You could probably do it. And if I do the thing where like the whole mechanic of this game is that you have to come back at sunset and like chill out at the fire. You have to, and then in the morning you have to drink coffee. It's mandatory. I'm not joking. And you have to be facing sunrise. If you're not facing sunrise, it doesn't count, and you will instantly be account wiped, just dead. That's the main loop. And after you do that, though, at night, all the nodes respawn because we're in this like mini fishbowl, like, you know, tiny simulator. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like this feels like kind of like the holodeck and like Star Trek, or like, you know what I mean? It's like you don't want to like, if you're like leisure in like some holographic world, it kind of needs to be. I feel like it's kind of cool when it's like small stylized. Like it's not like actually a whole world. It's just like a little slice of simulation. I kind of like it like this. I wonder if a circle would feel better. Like if the whole world is a circle instead of a cube like this. I think people like cubes though. Like you kind of want to know like north south. Circle would be pretty disorienting in here. Whereas we're going to start to have these kind of landmarks of north is like there's a mountain. Sunset and sunrise is going to be like a mechanic of the game is you have to look at sunrise. So, you know, you're kind of always oriented. A circle would start to throw it off a little bit. But the thing is, you need to know where sunrise is, because like at sunset or sunrise, like whenever it comes up, it's going to be over here. It's going to tell you where's the moon. Where'd the moon go? It's over there. Okay, here it goes. You're going to need to come over to your thing and drink coffee, and you need to be looking, the camera needs to look at sunrise for you to like actually get the buff that you're going to need to like continue on with the day. So you kind of need to know where north and south is and where the sunrise is. So we'll kind of see. Tried converting quixel trees to nanites, but it wasn't working. I saw the pack in the marketplace called nanite plants. Huh. Oh, I have no idea. I haven't tried that. I think performance-wise, I'm pretty good with this kit. Does nanite actually give more performance? I like still don't really know how to use that, to be honest. Mostly made a difference. Software nanite doesn't support two-sided materials. Oh, okay. Yeah, so it seems early to use nanite for this. I could probably nanite a couple rocks or something like that, or like the axe in his hand, or like any of these like props here. We could just leave them like super high poly and they could be nanite, I guess. That would be kind of cool, because eventually we're going to have like crafting stations, and maybe can the houses, I guess the walls could be like super high-res nanite. That would be cool. This computer does have a lot of RAM. It's the developers. It's like my developer station though. So it's for like, you know, Unreal Engine, ZBrush, Substance Painter. They'll take as much RAM as you have. But it's not like the computer I like test like the final games on or anything like that. But yeah, there's definitely some opportunities for nanite in here. I think it would be like this stuff. Like leave this super high poly, this high poly. Stuff that the character gets like right up on top of. You know, the clothes that I make for this are very, very high res as far as games are concerned. But that's like kind of the point. We're only going to have one MetaHuman in here. He'll be probably LOD 2, LOD 1, something like that. Which is high for a game. Very high poly clothes. And, you know, everything else has to be optimized to make that fit. So it's basically like UDS for lighting, and probably, to be honest, the whole time there's just like one lamp, one point light. You're chilling. Oh, sunset's over here. Sunrise. We need a better view of sunrise on this one, but you know, I think what I'll do is I'll probably like level block you here, like you can't leave this like tree border, but I'll leave a clearer view of it and make it like, you know, we basically have to like, we kind of can limit where the player can view it from is their base, and we kind of at this point we kind of decide where their base is, at least for now. It'll be harder as like the maps get a little bigger, but I can pretty much like carve out a little window, and you just level block, you just can't leave this, right? But like we wouldn't even need this tree here necessarily, but we need a nice clear view to sunrise. So I can come up with something. Where's sunrise gonna be? It's over here. Run. So you might want to post up like here. Here's the sunrise, and we'll just make sure we have a nice view of it, which we don't. Actually, it's not bad, but this rock's like hard in the way. This one right there. This one's currently blocking. But we'll build out like, you know, very nice views of the sunrise. This is sunrise simulator, I suppose, at the moment. I'm going to let it crank again. I need to then build out a little bit of stuff into the depth, of course, to have that, like, obviously. But that's still pretty in scope, is like build out this little mini level, and then a clear view of sunrise, basically, and sunset, I guess. Let's reset the simulation. The bushes. Okay, so I don't have a chair yet to sit in, so we're just going to crouch. Ah, there it goes. Oh, boom. There it is. And then your whatever bar buff situation I'm going to choose to call it It's going to be all filled up. I'm thinking of calling it like, I mean, it's going to be tied to caffeine. You basically have to be drinking coffee, looking at the sun, and then boom, we're ready to go. Now you can cut this tree down in one chop. Whole thing dies. Something like that. Has to be like extremely incentivized. And at night, you basically would die if you miss it. Which I think is kind of, I don't know. Realism is not the word here, but like, I feel like if you're alone in the woods, I feel like you have to be pretty strict about when you come back to the home base and start up. Like you can't like, it's not like like in Rust, like you're just like, you know what, I'm not coming back to the base. It's like, no, you would die. So that's my rationalization of why we need to make it back to sunset. You must be chilling at sunset. And in UDS, you can tell it like how long dusk and dawn is. So we'll make it like long. I think actually let me see if I can do that. If I could, it's like most of the day is sunrise and sunset, and like only a little bit is like the boring daytime stuff. I think we can tune that actually, and then you can make nighttime really short. We're gonna basically sleep through nighttime. But even if you don't, I set nighttime to be 1 minute at the moment. I'm pretty sure I can tell it dusk time. Oh, you can tell it when it starts. The exact moment when the sun passes the horizon. Oh, cool. So 6 and 18. So if I make it, trying to think, do I make it earlier to make it sunset longer, or is it shorter? I'm not able to think about this. I don't know how that works right now. So if I make this lower, is sunset longer, or is it shorter? It's when it hits the horizon. So it starts at 6. I would be making night longer if I make this higher. So we'd want to make it lower, I think. So what if I make this, I need to make it like really obvious. I'm going to make like 200. And in this case, if I want it to hit later, we would say 200, 100 hours, whatever. I don't do these. I don't do military time. Let me see what this is like. Okay, so like it immediately is up. Is sunrise longer? That's what I would want. I would want like a really long sunrise. I don't think I got that. It doesn't seem like it. I'm not really sure. I'll wait for sunset though. See if sunset feels longer. I can speed it up. I could probably be like, I basically need to stretch out the sunrise zone to be longer. And I'm pretty sure there's a way of doing that. I'll like speed up the top hours or something like that, maybe. Big mesh is no problem. Foliage is so tiny. Yeah, maybe it like doesn't even need it because it's so small in the scene. Like nanites for like stuff you get close up to. I don't really know. I'm not really sure what the ideal use case of nanite is. Okay, so now that doesn't really change much for me. I think that basically, I think that does extend it. I'm gonna wait the whole night cycle again. I think we started at like we should just start at midnight, I guess. I'm gonna wait for the whole night cycle again. See if the sunrise feels a little bit faster. But yeah, I mean the game is gonna kind of revolve around sunrise, sunset. So like it would be nice to have that be tunable for me. Is like sunrise and sunset twice as long as normal, and shrinking the time relatively that the sun's like directly above you. Which is like Iceland or something at certain times of the year. There's like, if the sun is really low in the horizon the whole time, it's basically always sunset. But I wouldn't want that. I like this like traditional like red over the top of me idea here. I can make nighttime 30 seconds, even make it even crazier. But anyway, here comes sunrise over here. Let's see how it goes. Full screen it. So I made it start earlier. I don't remember. I don't think it's changing too much. It's still gonna proceed when it does. I think essentially I've just shortened nighttime is what happens. So I would need to like literally slow it down, I think, to do the mechanic I'm talking about. I believe. We're like changing like the balance of day and night. I'm not saying like, oh, like when you're at the horizon, go up. So I think the idea more is that like, oh, at 600 and on, we would want it to be playing slower. And then, like, I don't know if there's a speed somewhere. Time of day, there's speed. But we could basically slow it down from like 600 to 900, and then slow it down from like 1600 to 1800, just have that be part of the loop somewhere. I'm pretty sure I could change that. Started with UE5. Yeah. On the first object, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, is the goal to like ship an actual game? Then that's definitely not good. But at the same time, like, I just spent like a year making MetaHuman clothes, and they're not perfect by any means, but like I'm trying to get them as good as possible and just hyper fixate on that for a while. Yeah, I mean, so I didn't do it right either. You're supposed to do this block out in gray box, but I did it with assets because I just think it looks nicer. And I'm also tuning for lighting, and I'm tuning it based on feel. You know what I mean? Like, this feels good. And so I know, I'm like, I look at that, I'm like, that's nice. And like, that's what we're building the game off of, is like hitting those views. So to me, it's like, this is the game loop. Like, this is the blockouts, is like looking for it nice. And I think in that, like, most indies, you're going to be using a lot of pre-made stuff. This is a blockout, a gray box. But I get that. I mean, I don't, it takes me 2 weeks to build the full set of MetaHuman clothes. That's kind of not a whole game either. So I think that's pretty common. It depends if you like really want to pump out games. It's like, if that's the idea, is like, what's the unit of measurement for like, you completing something? Is it a game on Steam, or is it, post on ArtStation? It just depends on like the unit. So I'm gonna slow down, if I can, basically 2 or 3 hours of sunrise and sunset. I'm pretty sure in the blueprint somewhere I can have that be twice as long. That's what I would want. For me, I don't want to display stuff for material. I go with nanite. Yeah. I don't like displacement at all. It's weird. I don't like dynamic tessellation, any of that stuff. I like just like static. So if nanite means that I don't have to do that, that would be great. Like, so for like little like insert meshes in like the ground, that sort of stuff, I much prefer that than like dynamically tessellating this to have depth and parallax occlusion mapping. And I just don't like that tech. Like, it's just confusing to me mostly. I feel like it's hard to manage too. Not doing game dev, just trying to make short films. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. I only have one game on Steam, so I have that, and I don't make like actual movies or anything like that, or even short films. I just make like little short TikToks mostly when it comes to content. Oh, where did I hit this sunrise? Oof. Oh, there it is. That's the whole game. That's it. We just have to have like some like musical swell and all the birds come out or something when that happens. Just make that as satisfying as possible. That's the game. That's it. Everything else is just in service of like, let's hit these sunsets and sunrises and cut down some trees. That's it. Live in this house. Sleeping bag. Lovely mocap animations in the fireplace. I almost like this mode where the days are hyper fast like this. Is this a thing? Could you make a game where we just actually let the sun move this quickly? I think that's kind of interesting. I think at least that should be a game mode. I don't know why. It's so short. Like, you have no time to do anything during the day. It's kind of funny. I think it would definitely have to be a mode that we enable. It wouldn't be like the serious survival mode. It would just be kind of like, I don't know. I think it's pretty hilarious to give the user the choice to have the day be 1 minute long. If anything, it's funny to watch the sun just crank. We're like time-lapsing, I guess, is what that feels like. So the sunset's not as satisfying the way we laid out the level. But yeah, overall, I like this idea. It's like, a basic crafting game at its core, but the reward of the game loop and where you level up is looking at the sunset. I just think that's nice. And then our only goal, level design wise, is to enable a nice view. So eventually we'll be on like the top of a mountain and like, looking at like something like crazy. But like this, I feel like this is a nice way to do like a little starter zone here. And yeah, UDS just, UDS, the marketplace, Quixel, MetaHumans, they're just gonna give me all the building blocks, but I still have to do like, obviously, like a lot to make it actually like be a thing. But yeah, it's a nice time to hop into UE5 and kind of build a little prototype. I feel like this is like a year before it would be like something that I could release that's like kind of fun. It's not like a serious game or anything like that, but I think it would still be kind of nice. It's not the best sunrise, to be honest. But yeah, okay, so that's kind of the concept of it. Little level layout. Nothing too complicated. All the tools are here. I think it's like really about picking like doable goals though. Like the first map I tried to build was so big, and I've fallen in that trap so many times, and I just need to kind of like bring it back. And really, Roblox has been like some of like the most like insane popular games of Roblox. It's like the tiniest map ever. It's like it's great. It's good that it's small. I like that. This is my like Unreal Engine 5 Roblox. You know, like could you make a map smaller than this and have it still be a thing? Like probably, I guess. But like this seems like the minimum you could do, and we're still hitting these sunsets over here and whatnot. Like one little base in the corner. I kind of I like it. I think it's cool. So next phase for me is obviously make the game, but like I'm gonna go record some mocap animation for this. This is a Lyra demo mostly, a little bit of mocap. The axe swing is me, that one, and yeah, let me hit this. Put my axe away, and this little ROM is me too. But I'm gonna go make a bunch of animations for this. So that we can like sit down on the log, and like I don't know exactly where they're going yet, but like gathering, I'm gonna gather with my left hand so that if I have my axe out like this and we're like hitting stuff. Oh, I don't have any pickups, so let me throw down a pickup in the game. But anyway, I just need a couple like basic animations to kind of lace in, so I'm gonna go do that. And I'll probably I'll stream like not recording them, but like once we have them in engine, there's a lot of editing that has to happen before they can like actually go like in the game state, like the anim BP. So I'll probably do that as long as it doesn't like UE5 doesn't like crash. Basically, exporting animations used to crash in 5, so I always had to do it in 4 and then import them here, which isn't so bad either. But last I tested it worked pretty well. Yeah, let me grab a pickup, the ham pickup. We'll just throw these down here for now. Oh, is that a pickup actually? You can pick this up? I thought I had a log. Wait, don't I have a log? That's an act. No, wait, no. Wrong word. This is the pickup. That's the loot basically for now. We have an interactable. Yes, we have this thing. Okay, so this is like a chest basically. Built like a basic version of this thing. That's very dark. It's gonna be very dark for a second. It's the gold. There it is. Okay, well, wait for sunrise. But anyway, you could pick this up. It turns into the loot, and you pick it up. However, I don't have an animation for that, so I just need like a left-hand animation of like yoinks. Give me the yoinks animation. And I need an animation of me sitting on the stump drinking coffee, as that is one of the core mechanics of this. Maybe like laying down and going to sleep animation. And just like kind of, they don't have to be perfectly cleaned up or anything, but like just block out the animations for the major things that we do. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna try to record my own locomotion. That is way harder to have that all line up nicely. I've never made one from scratch before either. But at the very least, I'm gonna have an idle that's not this idle. This idle is very square. It's basically Lyra unarmed, is what this is from. And you're pretty much always gonna have an axe in your hand. So I'm just gonna have one that's like more like I have an axe in my hand idle. It just like looks nicer. And like pretty much anytime I take a screenshot of the game, it's going to be that animation because that's what he defaults to. So it just needs to be like a nice pose with the axe. Oh, the hyper. I think it's an interesting idea to have it the game loop be that, or the day and night cycle be that fast. I'm not sure how I would make. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how that would go, but it would be a funny mode that you could turn on for memes anyway. Displacement is great. If you could change the vertex color and runtime, bullet hitting a wall. Okay. Yeah, I've never tried to set up like bullet hit stuff. That's kind of interesting. So like the decal or something has like a dent in it, and then it like dynamically adds resolution just to like where that decal went. I guess if you're gonna go like pixel peep up and close, that's kind of cool. I've never done that kind of stuff. I'm not sure. That does seem like a kind of a cool way of using it. Oh, where's the sunset? Here it is. Sunrise, rather. We're going to hit it one more time. Next time, we're going to be drinking coffee, and we're going to buff up. So yeah, so the next part is it's still a visual side of things, but this project for me is heavily visual. It's not like pure game dev situation. It's like I'm making clothes, I'm making animation. So like it's really in service of that. But the next goal now is to get animations in here for that stuff and actually implement the first game loop proper, all the mechanics for it. So generally, I'm still blocking out in my head what that is that your health, I suppose we have hunger. I'm not so sure if I'm going to do hunger, but you have health. It's pretty damn low in the beginning. You screw up anything, you pretty much die. So I think the first thing is I'm just going to make it crafting coffee. We're going to craft coffee. You have coffee, you have the cup for now, whatever. You need to make it. And you have some resource that's slowly going down throughout the day. And the more active you are, the faster it goes down. So it's kind of like energy in Valheim, where like you have less and less energy over time. And the way you get it back is going to be to drink coffee and look at the sunset. If you don't get it, you don't do that, that resource goes to 0, then your health will start to go to 0. That's the idea. So if you like don't chill and you just keep working through the night, you will die. There is no way to survive that. In the morning, likewise, so you basically need to chill, and then you need to go to bed. So we need to make that mechanic. Then in the morning, you're going to wake up a little bit before sunrise. I guess you're drinking coffee in the morning. Maybe we do something else at night. I don't know. But in the morning, same thing. You need to be here drinking coffee, looking at sunrise, and then your whatever bar fills back up, your stamina for the day, and then you can go do your stuff. And then all with an overarching goal of gather enough wood to make your house. That'll be pretty much it. So I guess maybe like you're starting, oh, there it is. Maybe we're starting off in like, we don't have this in the beginning, right? This is kind of like the end goal. And at that point, I'm not sure like what gets us out, because it's like, oh, I built this house, I don't want to leave, but we're leaving. So I'm not sure how to make that like feel better. Maybe it doesn't just feel that good at this point. But at this point, for now, like quote unquote, we exit the dungeon or whatever. We're on to the next one, something like that. So just building out those mechanics, the animations. I'm not gray boxing this. This is going to look nice the whole time, which is not the way to design normal games. But for me, it's about the clothes looking good and the animations looking good. So just building out those mechanics, it's really shouldn't be too bad. I do want to spend like probably like a full game, real world, half an hour in zone 1. So I kind of have to figure out how to like pace that out a bit. But for now, it's just about like making the mechanics happen, having the life bar, being able to drink, blah, blah, blah. You know, just get those mechanics in there and just play that game loop for a long time and just kind of see where it feels like weird and whatnot. Speaking of animations, you have motion builder issues. Dude, motion builder is terrifying. The way you get the meta into motion builder works. Yeah, I saw your video on it. The rig doesn't fire the thigh corrective. Yeah, you mean in Unreal Engine after it doesn't, or in Motion Builder? It definitely wouldn't in Motion Builder. Don't know how to get mocap on the metas now. Yeah, MetaHumans are hard. They are tricky. They are a tricky thing. You can get yourself a mocap suit, but getting the animation back onto the MetaHuman after nicely controlled is definitely an undocumented process. I mean, that's why we had like a private Discord for a while of people that were doing it. It is not easy. Even like the studios and whatnot. I mean, they have it sorted now, but in the beginning, like even like studios were like, what? Like we had to pull in everyone to make that happen. In Motion Builder, yeah, they wouldn't in Motion Builder, right? You wouldn't expect the correctives to fire in Motion Builder. You actually want to strip out the secondary bone animation before it hits Unreal Engine, I think. Okay, weird. So that's session 1 for... We'll go to our cheated view. I guess I'm not against this. The thing is, like, as soon as you allow a view this wide, it's like, hey, what's back here? Look at this. It's like, you know, if we're stuck back, it's like a lot more like, you can still have that, but it's like less of a problem. This is just very wide. You can peek, or you just see too much. So I'm trying to keep this like small. This will help us on that front. I like to be a little bit lower. But yeah, so that's the first, you know, kind of block out for this. Kind of like, this is like very early days of like what I want this game loop to be, but it's pretty much looking at sunsets, mining stuff, and like vibing near a campfire, which I think is like kind of the fun part of Rust too. I think those are the nice parts, and I like gathering wood to make a house. That's fun. And then yeah, just kind of like build out more and more ambitious levels. But next step, get the game loop that I've kind of outlined working in here, roughly, just roughly working. You need to be able to die. What does respawning look like? Sleeping, eating, the bar is going back and forth. You know, I need to talk to UDS. UDS is like the whole heartbeat of the game now, pretty much, which is not what I was planning, but that works fine. There's also loading and saving. I'm not so worried about that. I think to start, if you die, you start over. For now, like we're not it's such a short loop that like you just die. That's fine. But as this gets bigger, right? Even if it's like say it's a 3x1, we make the map like a tunnel. It's just like here, 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 and then we leave. It's like, okay, so that might represent like, I don't know, 20 minutes of like real life playing. It's like you don't want to necessarily start from scratch, or it could be like that. Maybe that's the hardcore part about it, is that like per level you're saving your progress, but if you die mid-level, you're dead. I don't know, that doesn't sound terrible to me, because it's kind of like a little bit of a, like, you know, a mini game, so to speak, in scope. It's not open world, so maybe within each mini game, it's like you kind of need to like do it perfectly, but you're gonna reset into like a harder and harder version of it. Eventually there's gonna be like a bear over here that will one-shot you. I'm thinking like most of the mechanics, if we fight, because I'm not trying to build out a whole Dark Souls boss, it's kind of like if it ever hits you, you're dead, which is also kind of real. Like a wolf bites you, that's GG's. The bear hits you, you're dead. It doesn't matter. You could be wearing like Kevlar, you could be in a car, and that bear is killing you, like you're dead. So it's basically like all the attacks are like one-shotty. So I'm thinking it's probably more like you have to set a trap correctly and like bait it or something like that. And you never actually like fight the bear, because I'm not interested in designing like Dark Souls combat systems. It'll be more something like cheeky. And if you just even aggro the bear at all, you just die. I'm kind of into that. Not decals, just lerp 2 texture. The vertex change. Vertex colors. Changed vertex color. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I've never done that. Oh, so vertex colors. So because you're changing it based on vertex colors, you have a ton of vertices, and because you're using nanite. Oh, that's pretty interesting. You know what? You know where I could use something like you just said is I haven't figured out, like when you're attacking the tree, it's gonna be so dark. Let me turn off the switching, the daytime stuff. Something I do want to sort out, probably until the end of the me working on this, is like, oh no, wait, damn it. Oh, I have this thing. Is that like, we're hyper up close to these trees, we're pretty close to them. And when you hit them, I do need to make them like break. So it would be kind of cool if these were like, because these are just stand-ins, like these hero trees, it's kind of likely that the resource nodes I mine, I'm going to have to like completely custom make and like cut out, little pieces of them in like ZBrush to do it like hyper nanite, like you're saying. And then it's like spitting out like, really high quality, like nanite chips, right? Because we can afford it. We're not cutting down multiple trees at once. So that's not the design anyway. So just like make this like hyper realistic would be kind of funny. And we'd go with it. It's like we're only mining one tree at a time at the moment. So like kind of what you were saying is like, oh, if the base nanite trunk is like super high poly, then we could start to do like alembic cache deformations and stuff like that at like a super high resolution. That would be interesting. For now, I'm pretty happy to just leave this like it just disappears. It doesn't even react. Like nothing happens. But eventually, I mean, this is the core mechanic is axe hit tree, you pick up log. Like it needs to be, it would be cool to have it be like awesome, like really, really cool, as this is like one of the main mechanics we're going to do. So that would be kind of interesting to do. So I should probably start a Trello. I kind of despise Trello at this point. Not the app itself is fine, but it's kind of like, let's make a list and never do it. It's kind of what it feels like to me. If I need a Trello, it's like, it means like I'm probably never gonna do it. There's like so many things. Like I kind of need it to be like more immediate. Cinetrace is not like that. Cinetrace is like I have like the next 5 years of my life planned out. But like for something like this, it's kind of like I kind of just should know what the next thing is. It's definitely mocap animations and basic game loop. And then I think next is in there somewhere. Kind of mind these is to change how this destruction works. So it's not gonna spawn wood. This was just like a test. it's going to fall over and you're going to get the whole log. And then you need to pick it up. So I need the animation to pick it up, and then, it mods the animation blueprint so you're carrying the log and you walk real slowly back over here. And you probably dump your log in a log pile, or maybe you immediately stick it onto this thing. But I think the mechanic of like walking around with a log on your shoulder is like hilarious. I think that has to happen. In this system, you can't use displacement because it's a nanite. Even if you disable nanite, you can't use displacement in UE5. Well, I wouldn't use displacement. I'm just talking about like having like some sort of really high poly movement of some sort. I'm not really sure what that would be. You know what I mean? It's like almost like if you have like a pillar that's made out of rock and then you destroy it with like chaos physics, like something like along those lines. And I feel like that stuff is all nanite then, isn't it? I don't know. I don't really get into that type of stuff too much, but I guess it's like, it would be kind of interesting to destroy the tree like it was made out of concrete and it's like literally sharding off tons of like nanite wood chips. You could pretty much fake that with just Niagara particles. That would be kind of fine. First person view, not for the main game, but like the hope, I'm hitting the wrong button. My goal is that when you come and sit and do the like recharge mechanic, is that you're not in third person, you're like in a cinematic view. So you get much closer. Like you'll see your hands, you'll see the cup of coffee, there'll be like steam on the coffee coming off, and you end up in like a cinematic controlled view, which a lot of players may not like. But that's what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? We're gonna go like into a cinematic camera. There's depth of field all of a sudden, and you're just much closer to this stuff. But like in gameplay mode, for me, this is about the skins. So I don't really want to do first person, and I don't want to animate for first person either. I can animate for third person, as like this is me. That's my animation. First person is like a little bit different, right? You kind of have to like, it's like kind of weird, like where the hands have to go, and it's a little bit different. So for a couple of reasons, I want to see the skins. I can make third person animations already, and I just generally want to be like out here for this type of stuff. This is the idea for now. So I don't see a first person mode, but when we're doing certain activities like crafting, drinking coffee, you'll be much closer to the player, so you'll see the details and whatnot. Like I have a couple of screenshots from YouTube from like really nice looking like nature YouTube videos, and I'm looking to recreate those shots in the game, which I think will vibe. I almost want to call this like a cinematic survival game, but it sounds kind of pretentious, but like it's kind of trying to be that. It's like the payoff is to hit these like kind of nice looking shots. So if you're also like a photographer, filmmaker, it's like you're going to enter this kind of like photo mode that like looks really nice. I hope that's the hope with it. Looking towards sunrise. Looking towards sunset. Looking right, sunrise. Oh, we still have the light in here. This thing. Yeah, and so all this stuff. A lot of these animation things are going to require like custom animation control rigs and stuff like that. And so that's all good tech research. And at the end of this process, I should be able to like get pretty nice MetaHuman animations all prepped up and safe for runtime. In which case they would be good to use in Cinetrace or whatnot. Save with the clothes. Maybe instead of first person, you could do a photo mode. I could definitely implement a photo mode. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it could definitely happen. But I'm trying to make like the normal game itself like the photo mode, if that makes sense. Like I'm trying to like we're looking for these cinematic moments. I don't know like if other games, people who play games like look for like the most. I know they do. I mean, I watch like Elden Ring community. There's just always looking for the nice views and stuff like that. At least a lot of the people I follow, it's like we're looking for that nice moment, and this game is here to like give it to you. Like that's all it's. If I could, the whole game would be like sunset. I feel like that's kind of obnoxious, kind of oppressive still, but like that's where you're gonna kind of linger. So I think I definitely need to sort out with Ultra Dynamic Sky how to slow down and lengthen that sunset phase. I'm pretty sure I can figure that out. But I'm gonna go have lunch. Is it lunchtime? I think it is. I kind of want to hit up this day-night cycle one more time, and I might make a little just to see the whole loop in one video, and like the super early stage too. Just kind of like I'll make like a little Twitter video. I might start a YouTube channel for this. I probably should. It's worked out in all my games and things to have like a dedicated channel, but I'll still be streaming it here though, like the development. But I might have like might make a channel specifically for this project because I tend to make an obnoxious amount of content, and I don't think I should dump that here probably. Though I guess I not really care about this channel at this point. It's pretty much just where I do things all day. Let's turn on this, and I'm going to do one more day-night cycle, and we'll have it start even earlier. Let's have it start at 200, considering how short the cycle really is. So this is the first time we're talking to UDS via blueprints. If you use Chaos, you can nanite for destruction and stuff. If you use Houdini for destruction, then you can't. I'm interested at a certain point, we're gonna need to go into like how can I make this like destroying this tree the best as possible? Like that'll happen. I'll have to figure that out. So it'll be around then. We'll kind of look at like the different tree destruction text that we have available to us. I haven't done Houdini in a while, but I do know it. Oh, here it goes. Ready? Oh, the sunrise. This is it. It needs to last way. Obviously, we're in like a ridiculously short daytime cycle, but it's gonna be like a while. It'll be like a minute of sunrise at least. Which I guess, like, in real life that's not that long, but and the game will definitely like extend it out. So we're gonna sit here and wait for this to go back this way. Hatchet in the stump, big aesthetic, and the coffee cup that I'm gonna use also. Like I see a lot of the bushcrafters online use it. It's like a wood carved coffee cup. Take a picture of it at sunset. Mighty nice looking. Let's face the fire. Oh, here it comes. Wait for it. You must emote at the... Oh, no, we got a second. Oh, there it goes. Oh, it's going quick. Boom, emote. This will be the drinking coffee thing. And sunset won't happen in like 2 seconds. And then eventually I can start to introduce like weather and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure changing the weather is not too bad. It looks like there's just like an asset. And maybe with like hopefully like a lerp time. I don't know. Maybe just a hard set it. You're probably just like set weather, snowy, and just immediately snowy. And like Lumen takes a second to catch up, but I don't imagine it's too hard. And I'm sure it must be designed. I think this has replication settings too. Like this thing is multiplayer enabled. That's crazy. But I'll be back. Definitely every day is not obviously working on this game. It's mostly going to be close and still Cinetracer stuff. But for at least the time being, when I'm testing clothes, I'll be testing them in here. This is where all my animations are, and all the mocap stuff I'll be doing is for this project. But I will be back. Peace.